just let it.
Okay, so wow. All right, this is going to be one of those shows. I can tell you right now. How we even just were able to go live on time. We did. We got some technical difficulties, but I think we got it figured out at the last second here. So we are live December 6th. Let's get going. Here she comes. It's time for Video Chicken. Don't hit the lights. What is wrong with you? To my left, co-host, chickenista, chicken expert, Kristen. Today is going to be an awesome show. Look at Goosebumps.
Coyotes are everywhere.
What's going on, Kristen?
Oh, I was just getting my chicken poop necklace on.
Can I get some? Oh, someone's already pooped. Ingrid's like doing her job. Ask and you may receive. Ingrid is on it.
Don't blame it on me.
Oxygen is the solution to foul odors.
Oh, I just felt it on my back. It's warm and oh, God.
I knew I was going to have serious problems that, like, the Coop remained that much better than the house forever.
The Coop is beautiful, by the way. I'm not trying to plug your products by any means.
Please do.
Lipstick, give me a makeup kit. You know, I'll be nice and pretty for the crows.
Oh, so let's pull out another chicken. This is like a magic trick. Up to 1 o'clock already. Oh my God. We have a new Ingrid.
Memo. I missed the memo.
Know a lot of people who do raise rabbits alongside their chickens.
Why would you wait till the last minute to pull out your homework?
Have we met before?
Yeah, that's a good one with the cords and everything.
This falls right off, and he regrows a new one the following spring.
Calm down, Matt. Calm down.
Why?
This is a really interesting show.
Oh, it's, see?
Yeah.
My fault. I love it. Cindy, you just earned yourself a shirt. I love that.
Yes, Matt, you are right.
I had no idea what to expect when we opened up that box. And this is why we love what we do.
That's my goal, is to really bring people together through chickens.
The power of chickens.
So.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Video Chicken Live. We are live March 6th, December 6th. I don't know what today's date is.
March.
2023.
Definitely not March.
I don't have a clue.
You're
was
just
so
checking to see if we're awake.
Yeah, exactly. That was so incredibly stressful. Okay, if you guys could do me a favor, from now on, everyone has to be here at 11, and you guys can all do everything you need to do to make sure the show is ready to go. How's that sound?
Yeah. Okay. Well, yesterday
You got
said
something on your eye. That's going to drive me nuts. Go like this with your eye.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yesterday you said 15 minutes early, so I was 30 minutes
No.
early.
I said 11:15, not 15 minutes early.
That's not what
I was
heard.
here a little after.
I know.
11.
Yes, Ingrid's always here at 11, which I appreciate. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what in the world's going on this morning, but hey, thank you for the guys that are already here. Thank you for being here. And we have a guest in today, which I'm really, really excited about. I've been waiting for today's show for 4 weeks since I first talked to this gentleman. I've kind of hinted for our super fans have been following. You definitely have an idea of what we've been talking a lot about recently, but I need a second to get settled in here. So forgive me. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, comments, obviously you guys know what to do. Ask away. Tell us where you're watching from. Also, I don't know if I got the Instagram to work, because what I forgot to do, Ingrid, is when we put the stream key in, you have to save it and then go live over on Instagram. All these little details. I just need some help. Okay, folks?
Well, you pulled it off. Good job.
Thanks. Now, are your earbuds working?
Yes.
Because literally 30 seconds, you're like, well, I don't hear anything. Holy cow. And then I promise I don't have lipstick on. I don't know what happened to our audio settings, our visual settings. And this is also driving me nuts. Okay.
What's that?
Can someone clean? All right. Scoot. We're not equal.
Oh, well, we're going to have a guest, so.
Kristen?
Oh, sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do I got to put this in a memo? What Kristen's referring to is I said, let me run the show, please. Oh, and I see what's going on. I don't have my mic where it's supposed to be. This is all because of last Friday. Nan and I did an experiment, and boy, did it bomb. Just goes again, prove that I cannot do this show if you guys are not here. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, again, welcome everyone. 43 people here already. Wow, okay, you guys must be excited about today's show.
Us.
Huh?
They missed us.
No, what it is, yes, they miss you too. Okay, because every time, like last week when I tried to experiment, I wanted to go around the shop. I had the router set up out at the Coop, and I'm like, I'll call in as a guest on our own show, and I wanted to show you guys. I don't remember what the hell I was even talking about last week with the Coop, but I do know what we need to talk about today, and it obviously must be cold outside.
Oh,
Yes,
the
Matt.
cost.
It's cold outside. Oh my God, it's
Yes,
freezing.
It's like February in December here in North Carolina.
I don't know what happened. It was like 70 here. And then I'm waking up in the middle of the night. I have one of the best alarm clocks in the world. One, because I don't have to ever set it, but it shines the time and the temperature, indoor and outdoor temperature, up on the ceiling.
Oh, I don't know if I would like that.
I love it.
Really?
Oh my gosh. If you
Not
guys
all
don't,
night, but just when it's time
no,
to wake
all
up.
night, all night.
Oh,
No, all night. It's just, you can dim it, whatever.
That's not good for your sleep.
I don't sleep as it is.
Maybe that's why.
I know.
I need to get my, Nan's
You
like,
need a dark room to
no,
sleep.
Nan's like, you need to get your sleep study. And apparently I'm still choking in the middle of the night. I wake up like I'm suffocating, all that good
I would
stuff.
think that your cat would be your alarm clock.
Oh.
Leo is.
yeah.
Leo, just like this morning, and I can tell what's on his mind by how he meows. And this morning, he wanted attention. That's all he wanted this morning. I can tell when he's hungry and yada, yada, yada. Okay, so listen, where are we live on Facebook? Did we screw this up? Are we live on X? Did we get this right before we go into the full show?
I don't know
Anyone?
about. I mean, I set it up so it should go live on X and Facebook.
Okay, so we probably screwed up on Instagram. It is what it is. One of these days, we're going to get it right. One of these days, we're going to get it right. All right, so today, guys, I got to get some things off my chest, as usual.
Really? That's so unlike you.
It seems like you've already started that segment.
Yeah, I think so. I did. Totally.
Well, you know, okay, here's what it is. It's obviously cold outside. It's obviously dipped into freezing temperatures, just like it has here. And like yesterday, I think it was, I don't know, my weeks just turned into blurs. The days turned into one big blur. Nan goes, I just got our first full heated water system failure call. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And so I went back out to the Coop, set up the router, and did a full live video of how to troubleshoot your water system. And once again, and then the calls kept coming in during the daytime. And here's what I'm actually very, very, very proud of. I'm going to use one particular customer as an example. He called up, and Nan took the call, and he's mad. He's mad at us. He's mad at his water system. And what it was, he goes, my nipples are leaking. And anytime you guys have a problem with your water system, please go to our troubleshooting videos. Ingrid, we have got to figure out where we can put these all in one nice, tidy place for people to go to. Okay. So we got to talk about that. However, or give us a call, but I can tell you, we're going to ask for something immediately before we're even going to get into troubleshooting, and that is we must have pictures and some videos of your entire system. 100% of the time, when a system fails, it's because of human error. And even today, our system was about to fail. I got us all on video. It was my laziness, my human error, and I got that all on video. I can't wait to get that out. But the point is, I think it was yesterday, a customer called, and he was mad. He goes, my nipples are leaking. So Nan did the right thing. She's like, well, are they leaking on the inside or outside? Which is very, very important. And he said, well, they're leaking on the inside. Okay. Which means where the water comes through, where your chickens will drink it, that's the inside of the nipple. And if it's leaking, it's because of that little O-ring, which maybe, I don't know. I wish we had some
Zoom
overlays. Do we have any overlays of the nipples?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we got to start doing stuff like that, because just take my word for
I
it.
didn't know what you were going to get off your chest today.
I know.
I was unprepared for class.
So, what happened is this particular gentleman had something getting caught in between his O-ring and the molded part of the back of the nipple. Guess what it was? Any ideas?
Dirt.
Teflon tape.
Whoa.
You do not need to Teflon your nipples. Don't wrap your nipples. Leave your nipples bare and just thread them in. It is tapered, folks. The reason why it's tapered is the tighter you get it, the more it goes in, the better it seals. And that Teflon back there got caught in between that O-ring. So Nan explained this to the gentleman, and I am so thankful. These are the customers I love. They said, I am so sorry for being angry at you guys. I was just frustrated.
Aww.
We get it. And this is why we're here. And thank you for giving us a chance to help you out. And once again, I am just thankful that we resolved the situation, but trying to figure out how to get all this information out to everyone, because I don't want them having to worry about water.
No, my system failed, actually.
What happened with your system?
Well, I plugged it in, and it was all working fine. And it came on. It wasn't like cold overnight, or it was cold overnight. So I came out. It's like, oh, it's on.
Hold on, pause for a second. You made your own system, right? It's not
No, it's yours.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
I did at first, and then I
Okay.
needed photos for the website, so I made you give me one of yours. So everything was the same. So I have that, and it was working. And then it was another cold day, and I went out, and I was like, I don't hear it. And I was like, shoot. So I unplugged it from the heat it, and I plugged it in, so the pump was working. So I said, darn, it's the heat it. And I was like, Even though it had run like 1 or 2 days, I ended up I just plugged the pump in to let it run, and then I took it inside and I did the troubleshooting where you put it in the freezer, which I should have done to begin with, but I was lazy, and I just was like, I just hooked everything up because it was like, it literally was a thunderstorm on Thanksgiving, and then it like plummeted. So that weekend was just like getting everything ready for the cold. And once I put it in the freezer and I saw the light come on and I plugged it in, it's fine. So, but I had a false sense of security because when I first put it all together, it worked for a day or two.
Okay, yes. So you got to, in the fall time, reset your system. And we have videos on that. And I don't want to spend all day on that because I definitely want to get into what I am so excited about today. Yep. And again, I've been waiting 4 weeks for today's guest to come on. But I need to set the stage of what's going on. And as always, I'm just going to be transparent. And if you haven't been following us, just hope you're sitting down. Listen, here's what's going on. When I was in Italy, boy, do I miss Italy. I got a call, and I'm thankful for my team that they called me and said, Matt, this truck of hemp that came in does not look good. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Long story short there, we sent it back. I refuse to sell something that I feel is not up to our standards. I have so much respect for how much you guys trust our opinions, what we feel is best for you. I will never betray that trust. And I said, I'm not here. Yes, we're here and we're in business to make money, but that's not the right way. I could have just kept the truck, and we talked about just telling all the customers, okay, it's going to be a little darker and it's not going to look as good. Matt's always talking about how it should be blonde. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. Okay, sorry. I didn't want all those calls. And I said, send the truck out. And I talked to our hemp supplier and they said, Matt, there is no hemp anywhere on this planet to your standards right now. Really?
Oh, that's a challenge.
Oh, yeah. So sure enough, we found some. Haven't finalized anything there. But in the meantime, I had this thing come over me. And I said, you know what? It's time. It's time to do something I haven't done yet. And that is give a certain product a fair shake. And we've been selling this product for... I don't know, 3 years, 4 years now? No, 2 years?
Probably 2.
It feels like for a while. And what this product that I'm referring to is this stuff right here, is HealthiStraw, FarmStraw, okay? We'll just start with straw in general, okay? Here is a wheat, right? A wheat grass. Wheat is a type of grass. Okay, good. We have some straw. And when this first came to my door, I wouldn't even look at it, truth be told. Okay, I'll admit it. It's fine. I was like, I'm not even going to mess with it. It's straw. How good can straw really be? A lot of us talk about how straw can cause problems. When you're using it for nesting material, it's hollow. It's going to get in the crop of the chickens, blah, 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 blah. Well, one of you.
It was Ingrid.
It was Ingrid?
Yeah.
Did what I need you to always do. You're here to also be an extension of me with the stubbornness. And you know what? Let's just give it a try. And so it was you, Ingrid. You tried it in your coop.
Yeah, I was in talks with Kurt, who was the first person at HealthiStraw, and he and I were talking about it, and then he sent a couple of bales for me to try. I gave one to Kristen, and I did one because you didn't.
I thought you did have one.
Yeah, I had 2 sent because you didn't have the Coop yet at this point,
right?
Out front. So, and I loved it. And Kristen loved it, and we tried it out.
So then you have my interest. Okay, because I trust you guys. This is what I need you here for. And
we
in
have
every
the field laboratories.
Exactly. And every situation can be a little bit different. So let's fast forward to when I said, you know what, screw it. Grab a couple bales. Let's go put it to the test. And I had probably one of the worst situations you can have. Yeah. And that is we had like 500 chickens in a coop designed for 12. And it was a rainy season. And the runoff coming through the run. And it was just an absolute mess. It was one of the worst situations you can have with chickens. Oh my gosh, is that coffee? Yeah. Oh, see, I get goosebumps. I'm so excited. And you guys got to see Nan real quick. Nan, if you guys don't know this about Nan, she is one of the, she used to be an elf, believe it or not. Not in real life. She would go to the mall. Complete opposite. This is me, slay all day. Thank you for the coffee, Nan. Okay, she's going to avoid the camera. She's got reindeer antlers on.
And she had a beautiful centerpiece for us for the show.
Oh, I know. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. All right. Thank you for the coffee.
Thank you, Nan.
And so listen, I said, and we got this all on video. You guys have to go back and watch it. Okay, so you are going to say hi. So just so you guys believe me, there's Nan, and she has her antlers. Hi, Nan.
Cheers.
Thank you for the coffee.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I thought you'd like to take the edge off a little bit.
No, it's not Christmas yet. You guys are pushing it.
It's holiday.
Okay, we got a long show. I'm not going to win this one, am I? Nope. It's out of focus. It's driving me nuts. It's just
leave it. Thanks.
okay. You win.
You will have the Christmas spirit.
Damn it! No matter what.
Thanks, Nan.
All right. So listen. So Kristen and I got. I think Christopher at the time with the camera. I said, "Let's go out there."
No, it was me.
That was you?
Yeah, it was
All right,
me.
perfect. Sorry, I don't remember. And we dumped 2 bales of Healthy Straw. And if I remember correctly, one was coarse and one was fine.
That's correct.
And we're going to talk a lot about that today.
I really want to know, actually.
Oh, you guys are about to learn things that
I'm
I
excited.
didn't know you needed to learn.
I've been asking you for weeks about this, like, you wouldn't believe what I found out. I'm like, tell me
I
for
know.
weeks.
I know. I'm good at teasing. Yeah.
I know.
So listen, we put the Healthy Straw to the test, and we have a run that is soaking wet, and it smelled. I had a lot of chickens in there. We had too big of a baby for the diaper, right? We talk about this all the time. The chickens were just defecating, and I wasn't letting them free range. It was an absolute mess. We dumped that Healthy Straw in there. And do we have any of those video clips available? I wish we did. All right.
But they're on the
within
channel.
seconds. Okay, guys, I'm not saying this. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying this just to sell this. I sell it because of the truth of the situation. Within seconds, no odor.
Yep.
And no more wet problem. Was it below? Yes. And you could tell how happy the chickens were.
They loved it.
They were loving this stuff. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's see what happens. And we went back and did a couple more videos week after week. And I didn't realize what we were seeing then was intentional from talking to who we're about to bring in, the founder, the owner, the inventor of this wonderful product, Vince, who's going to be on this show today, explained to me it actually absorbs a certain way that I never even knew was intentional. And I think Ingrid or someone said, yes, that's what we were seeing.
Yep.
And it was absolutely a thing of beauty. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring Vince in. Vince, how are you doing today, sir? Oh, make sure I'm sorry. We got to unmute him. Okay, there we go. Hey, Vince, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Awesome. So listen, thank you so much for being here. Everyone, this is Vince, and I want to make sure I say it right. The founder, the inventor, the owner of the brand Healthy Straw.
Is that
That's
right?
correct.
Awesome. And so Vince and I have been talking for a little bit, and we were going to do a show. I think we did a little bit of a teaser 2 or 3 weeks ago, right when I got back from Italy. And he was sick, and then I got sick. And then, so Vince, I'm glad you're finally feeling better. You were down and out for a while.
I was out for 7 weeks, believe it or not. So I'm just the tail end of it now. So if I cough a little bit, bear with me. But
no worries.
It was bad.
Awesome.
I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So
thank you so much for being here. So Vince, I want to get right into it, and I just really wanted to set the stage of a little bit of the background with Healthy Straw with us. And here's what I decided to kind of go back to where my original point was. When I was mad. I was mad about the hemp situation. I said, you know what? Get a truck of Healthy Straw. Let's give Healthy Straw a fair shake. And when I would talk to who used to be the sales rep from Healthy Straw, I'm like, guys, the sales are just so slow. What's going on here? What can I do to push this? Blah, blah, blah. Great people over there, which you know I'm big on.
Yeah,
so
they're wonderful.
Vince, your people are the best. Thank you so much. We hold a very high standard, not only for us, but for the people that are going to help be part of the solution, part of the team in the big picture. And they said, well, Matt, you keep pushing hemp. You keep saying it can't be used for the deep litter system, that only hemp can be used for the deep litter system. And I was like, oh, gosh, yeah, they're kind of...
They've been watching you.
Oh, yeah, which is part of the test, truth be told. I have someone right now that's like, well, what are you up to? What are you talking about that's trying to get our business? They don't understand the method to my madness. They should already know. If they're not willing to take the time to watch what's Matt talking about, what's going on behind the scenes, stalk us a little, you're not going to do business with me.
Well, it's a good thing I got caught up on those videos this week.
Jeez. Okay, so listen. We ordered a truck of Healthy Straw in, and I told Vince, and I'm so thankful. Here's the other thing too. I've been reaching out to Healthy Straw saying I want to talk to the owner, and finally, I think Vince just out of nowhere reached out to us. We kicked it off. We have a great conversation. I noticed we got a lot in common, and I can tell you what I really like about Vince that I could really appreciate is he's very protective of his brand. That tells me how much this product means to him, and just how important it is to have that quality in his product. And I appreciate that. And I can tell you, we saw with our own eyes, the quality of this product, which we're about to get into, is unbelievable. I can't believe how in the world there's zero dust.
There is. And Joy has just said that she used it in her brooder and she loved it. And I know that's what Kristen did because her brooder's in the house. And it's so great for, your bathtub brooder or in your living room brooder if you're Kristen or any brooder that it has no dust.
Right.
Yeah, I started using it for my indoor pigeons.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
which have gone outside.
So here's what I decided. I said, you know what? Let's get a truck. Let's full blitz right now, right? We got the marketing team together. I said, let's do everything. Let's learn about Healthy Straw. Let's really push it out there. And at the same time, I've been transparent. And even today's show, I'm going to say, listen, I want people to buy this and use it in their deep litter system. We're about to set up a second coop out there. We're going to use this in the deep litter system. And what I think Vince is going to say today, and here's why I wanted to have him come on, is I want him to teach us, educate us, sell us on this product, especially when the deep litter system, or when you're using the Healthy Straw with the deep litter system. So, Vince, again, thank you for being here. I have to ask first, this is a question I get all the time. How did this even start for you?
Good question. I grew up in agriculture, grew up on a dairy farm, worked with a lot of animal bedding, from wood shavings to straw to kind of the mix. Never liked the dust, never liked it for the animals. I love animal health. That's kind of the name of the company, Healthy Straw. It's very important to have healthy animals and for the people who are working with the animals. So kind of got into it in 2011. Somebody had asked me for a bedding product, a straw bedding product that could be used for animal transport. Started it with that. They weren't concerned about dust or anything like that, but I was, just with my background. And so decided that I can do more with this product. And so with my team, we've done a lot of innovation, created product now that we take all this dust out, but it's not just the dust. So out of every bale that we process, we take out about 20%, and that 20% includes the dust that you don't see. We take out any metal fragments that could contaminate and be an issue with animals, any plastic, anything, debris, rocks, sticks, all those types of things that could be in there. We remove it all in our process.
So again, this is what I mean. I can relate so much. He said something that we are huge advocates of. And this is why I've always told people I didn't get into building coops for the sake of the business. I got into building coops because there was no good coops for the health and the safety of the animals. And that makes sense. I mean, okay, so now we can connect the dots. I never really did before, but that's pretty simple. Healthy Straw. And I always thought about maybe he meant that, oh, well, the straw is very healthy because it looks good. No, it's about the health of the animals. Absolutely love that. So, Vince, tell me now, and I know we already kind of cheated a little bit, and I was like, oh gosh, I hope I don't remember any of those answers and questions I was asking because I was like, this is going to be what's going to be great for the show. Why Healthy Straw? Tell us why. If we are, I often refer to the diaper, and that's what this is going to be. And let's talk about, the entire situation, because you have Healthy Straw, not just for chickens. You got it for horses, ducks, goats. You got anything. You probably even got maybe people that use it for composting and human manure. You never know. But what I love about what you have done, and you can definitely see this on your website, is that you have many different is it formulations? I'm not sure what the proper term would be to describe the different styles of Healthy Straw. Like, so for example, we sell the course. Why is it that the course, that you promoted the course to us, because we're talking about chickens, why course in this situation? Also, to dive into, a lot of people have said to us, Matt, why would I buy it from you when I can go to a local brick and mortar and buy it from there way cheaper because I don't got to get shipping, but that was fine. Tell us, in our situation, why do we want the coarse?
Okay. That's a great question. The coarse, between the fine and the coarse, we sell, and other products that we sell, the coarse gives you that fluffiness that you want. And that fluffiness really makes a difference in the absorption side. So like you mentioned already, on the absorption side, the big difference between straw and other types of bedding out there, from wood shavings and other plant-based bedding, is that the way that the bedding absorbs, and it'll absorb just as well as any other product on the market after we've processed it. But the biggest thing is it doesn't absorb at the surface. So most bedding absorbs at the surface, leaving the surface wet, the animals in that wet, it's not good for them. So with our straw, it allows the moisture, it absorbs a little bit slower, and that allows that moisture to go down to the bottom, and then it absorbs from the bottom up. So your surface is dry, stays dry longer. You won't have to, clean out your bedding as often as you would with other products because of that.
All right, so let's pause right there. And I kind of realized I skipped a step. I want to be very, very clear. And here's the mistake I made in the beginning, and this is why I want to get this message out there, and here I want to show it to you guys. When we think straw, and we brought some in, we think about the long stalks and the hollow tube or whatnot. Yeah. What Healthy Straw has done, what Vince has figured out, is they chop it up and split it open. Vince, can you describe that a little bit more in better detail so we can really, especially not everyone's going to be watching this. We're going to have our podcast listeners, but could you describe, what it is that makes Healthy Straw is so different?
Yeah. So one of the differences is the straw that we have. So we only use wheat straw. We don't use oats. We don't use barley. A lot of companies will just mix anything that's out there. Oats and barley is incredibly itchy. It's really, really bad to work with. That's why we just use wheat. And the wheat that's grown in the local area that we are in Manitoba, Canada, it's a very unique wheat. It's very slender stalk. It's not as big of a kind of a tube that you see out there. And the big thing to know is, yes, as you mentioned, there's a lot of companies that'll just chop the straw up. And if you chop the straw up, all the absorption in straw is on the inside of the tube, not on the outside of that stalk. And so by splitting it open, we increase and maximize that absorption. It actually makes the product look a little more, it adds more white to the product. It's brighter, and it will give that absorption. And then we bend it as well. And that bending of the product is really important in giving that fluffiness, and that fluffiness will stay there. So even after you push it down, it'll bounce back up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what
told you. Yeah, mind blowing here. Wow. I was like, oh my gosh. So,
and I have to say that for our podcast listeners, that Matt can't keep his hands off of the stuff. I mean, his hand has been constantly in this little dish, playing with it, fluffing it, patting it. It's so soft.
Hold on. Okay, right? Yes, fair, fine, whatever. But with that said,
you are a fidgeter.
Vince just mentioned something I didn't think about. When I did my allergy test when I was a kid, they did 100 pricks on my back, and you're not allowed to itch. I'll never forget the nurse walking in. She goes, okay, turn around. She goes, oh, boy, do you got some allergies. I was actually allergic to everything but one thing, which was number one. I'll never forget it, water, right?
What?
And my number one allergy, here's what's interesting, was grass. Mm-hmm. And I'm here playing with it, touching it. I am not sneezing. I am not having a rash. I would normally, wow, I never even thought about that. So that's an interesting point, that it's, you just don't have those allergy effects. And so you mentioned, because you're just strictly using, this is something he kept emphasizing on the phone, because Matt, we're very particular about the type of straw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I thought straw. He goes, no, there's wheat straw. And like Vince just mentioned, you got barleys and other types of straw.
And Canadian wheat too.
Yes, and that it's grown a certain way up there, and he has a certain type of strain. So I find that so interesting. So we have it chopped up, we have it split open, and notice something else.
Bent.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Notice something he said, that if we go back to when you and I experimented with it, I didn't realize what we were looking at. We were pulling it back.
Yeah.
And it was actually wet underneath, but it wasn't nasty. There was no smell. It had that nice earthy smell that we want. There was little tiny bugs, which is what we want in a chicken coop.
Yeah, that's food.
So many people get it wrong. They create too sterile of an environment, but it was dry on top. Yeah. It was absolutely beautiful. So that was something Vince kept saying over and over. I even actually had them kind of re-explain that, because I want to make sure I'm hearing it right, is that it absorbs from the bottom. And I never thought about that.
Yeah, it wicks it up from the bottom. And it does it slowly, so it's not like it just gets saturated if it is saturated, which is great.
So let's fast forward now to them, because we are a chicken show and we're in the world of chickens and, of course, ducks and whatnot. But let's talk deep litter system. And I don't know how much experience you have. I don't know if you have chickens yourself, have ever composted in the deep litter system, or I'm sure you probably have a lot of customers that use this for the deep litter system. And here's where I just need to do it myself. But can you talk to us about using Healthy Straw in a hen house, like what most of your customers do, what they find that works, maybe they found things that didn't work?
So I wish I had chickens. It is our plan to one day have chickens, so we look forward to that.
Oh, please give me a call.
We do talk to our customers. Excellent. Will do. We do talk to our customers on it. They do use, some of our customers use the deep litter method with our straw, and we'll clean it out twice a year, and found it to be very effective and very, very easy to do. So, and others like to clean it out regularly. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we're big on the deep litter system. We're big on, the thing we're trying to push is that anyone can have chickens. Even if you're a busy professional or you go away on vacation a lot, the deep litter system, I mean, who wants to clean out their coop every week? Who wants to clean it out twice a year? You've gone how long without cleaning out?
6 years.
6 years. I mean, it's nuts. But again, you got to have the right setup. You can't overload with chickens. A lot of people do.
Which Kristen never does, right, Kristen?
No.
Well, and I'm curious for all our viewers and listeners, and I love how many people are chiming in right now. So, oh my gosh, we buy Healthy Straw. We absolutely love Healthy Straw. If you have been using Healthy Straw for the deep litter system, let us know how it's going. And then what I also want, folks, listen, here's the other thing that I find fascinating, and this is probably where I'm not a good business person, but it is what it is. Or no, maybe this is a smart business move. Believe it or not, here's the thing I thought was interesting, because I want people to you got to see the value in whatever it is you're selling. I don't know if we have a bale of Healthy Straw in here anywhere, but if not, can you go grab one? I want to show you guys something. So you've all seen the bales of the hemp that we sell a lot, the bricks. The Healthy Straw is roughly compressed about the same size. But when you open that up, the amount of volume is incredible. Mm-hmm. Vince, when we open up this bale, and we're going to refer to the course, I'm not sure if it's different for the different types of processes you have with the other types of Healthy Straw, but when it comes to the course, on average, how much will that expand up to?
It'll expand to 10 to 12 cubic foot. It's incredible. There's a lot packed in.
It really is. It's like a magic trick. When you pull it out, it's like the bag's not getting any smaller.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I have an open bag in my run right now that I'm pulling from because I have baby chicks and stuff. And I keep pulling from it, and it doesn't look like I have. It's brand new.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah,
so it's like the never-ending
like
bag
trick.
of Healthy Straw.
Yeah. And it's also really lightweight.
It is.
I have a bad back, so I can just pick that up, and
even
though it's 3 cubic feet, and it's like an awkward size for someone my size, it's still. Thank you, Kim.
Okay, all right, yeah, thank you. All right, bring it right in. I want to show you guys this, and I'm sorry if you're listening to the podcast. This is why you got to be here live, which we are right now, December 6th, 2024, live from our beautiful shop in Creedmoor. All right, so here is a bag of Healthy Straw. No, Vince, don't worry. We did not change your labeling. It's because we're running a green screen. Immediately, he's probably like, oh my God, that's supposed to be green.
Man, that looks huge. I mean, it looks like it's twice the size of us.
It's the perspective.
But,
and I don't know the exact dimensions. I'm sure it's probably like I don't know,
Okay.
24 by 12 by maybe 17 if I was to guess. All right, right there. Yeah, expands up to 10 to 12 cubic feet. Compressed, it's at 3 cubic feet. Here's the point I want to make, guys. Another reason why I want people to try this, we need to start trying it. It's actually per cubic foot, per pound, whatever, you're actually spending a lot less money to use this. So my question is, and here's where I'm going to play devil's advocate, and Vince, please chime in. This is your baby. This is your product. This is your time to just sell it to us, educate us. I'm curious then, okay, will it last as long as hemp? Do we have listeners out there that have maybe done both? Maybe you guys have, where, oh my gosh, yeah, Matt, it lasts just as long as hemp, and I'm paying half the price, if you will, because when you expand our hemp product, it's 4.5 to 5 cubic feet, and you're paying almost double the price. Here, you're paying half the price, and you're getting double the product.
Wow. I have used it in a deep litter situation. It wasn't for an entire year, but it did perform well.
So we need to absolutely start using this, because I'm curious how long it would last. But at the end of the day, you're getting more for your money initially. But again, time is very important. That's where I'm kind of curious how long it will actually last compared to the hemp, because this is what it's all coming down to. And the fact of the matter is, all right, can we get this out of here? It's kind of weird.
I actually have a question about that.
Please.
For Vince. So with our coops, that's the raised hen house, and it's 12 inches deep. And a lot of the pictures that you show are kind of like what are shed type coops where people put or stalls where they put it on the floor, and it's not necessarily on making contact with the ground. So I know, like, when I put it in my run, the chickens are always scratching in there, so it doesn't just stay where it is. But if it was in a coop that had like a wooden base or whatever that people have, like a shed style coop, or our coops that have the raised 12-inch kind of tubs, if you will, for our bed, it would probably not break down quite as fast, or would it break down as fast because it's not making contact with the earth? Well, will that prolong the use of it?
It'll still break down. Yeah, it'll still break down about the same. So yeah.
Okay.
So speaking of breaking down, here's the other thing that Vince said that where it's definitely outside my wheelhouse. I am not a gardener. I am not a professional composter. I'm a woodworker.
But we're going to be.
Yeah.
Vince, you mentioned about after using the straw that the benefit of it doesn't stop there. It almost sounded like it's just starting to begin. Can you talk to us about what should customers do with the Healthy Straw after they clean out their animal house?
Compost. It's incredible for compost. It will break down incredibly quick. Just over a season, you'll see the effect of how quickly it can break down. And then you can add it to a field, a garden, as nutrients, and it makes a great product. So it'll break down 4 times faster than any wood products that you see out there. And what's really neat about it is wood products, anything hard, they tie up a lot of nitrogen. So you don't want to put it into your garden. You'll have to add a lot of nutrients. And then once the wood breaks down and finally releases everything, you'll have this huge release of nitrogen, which you also don't want. Straw breaks down really quickly, ties up just a little bit of nitrogen, but at the same time releases nitrogen. So what you get is this great effect of that it's not taking away any of the anything that your plants need, and it's giving them everything that they need. And in fact, I've seen studies where the straw pieces will actually be taken down. The worms will actually take those bits of straw, take them down into your soil, increasing your aeration to help the plants grow. So just a neat effect.
Huge effect for the garden.
Yeah, Ingrid and I both have used it on the garden, both before and after the chicken coop, and it is amazing.
So I remember Vince telling me this. I'm like, okay, we can't talk anymore. We got to talk about this on VCL. I mean, how fascinating that is, especially that we know we love worms, need worms, and need to aerate the soil. So what you're telling me right now is that it's almost, even someone for like me, I can't screw it up. I don't really truly understand about nutrients in the soil, this and that, but that it makes it so that it doesn't have a huge nutrient load. Like, it's not going to consume a lot, taking away from maybe something you're trying to grow.
Right.
And then let's take it a step further. Our lovely worms that we need so badly, they'll actually take this and take it down with them into the soil.
Oh yeah, if I were a worm, I would definitely prefer this over a wood chip.
Okay, I have to ask why though. Do we know why? Like, is this a food source for the worms? I don't know a lot about worms.
I don't know either, so I couldn't speak to that. So
Gotcha. But so there must be a reason. We need.
Well, yeah,
I want to
mean,
find out.
They do. They feed on that, and it's easier for them if you're wood chipping, which is big pieces of wood, or it's even pine shavings. That's not as easily accessible as this is for a worm to consume. Just like they'll eat a piece of cardboard, but if you have like little strings of cardboard, they'll probably go for that first. It's the path of least resistance.
No kidding.
So it would make sense that they would be attracted to that. And actually, I'm just thinking now it's good for sometimes my worm bins get too wet because they're not protected. Probably should just throw some Healthy Straw on top of there just to dry it up a little. We take shredded cardboard, but we could probably just throw a handful of Healthy Straw on there for our worms that are in our compost bins. Worm bins.
Yeah, I just found that so fascinating.
Yeah, I was so excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, this could be even for people that have growing worm farms. Then, like you're saying, this could also be.
Or I have a specific. We have 2 specific worm bins. Those like healthy, I think it's called like hungry bins, that are different layers, and that's what we use to make compost tea, worm tea out of it, and all that stuff. But yeah, it gets wet in there because it's not covered. So if it rains, it gets wet on the top, and the worms don't. They'll just all go to the bottom.
Yeah, I wonder if my BSFL friends would want to.
I think they would too.
So the other thing I wanted to ask Vince about, have him kind of chime in on, is, again, as a salesperson or as a business owner, I'm always thinking about, we all have different reasons why we buy things. And you could have 4 different people buy Healthy Straw for 4 different reasons. And one of the things that we haven't talked about is really the initial environmental impact. I know a lot of people are always, concerned about, or we have it wrong, to be honest, that we think about wind turbines, we think about solar panels. It all sounds great, but actually when you really dissect it, potentially, before you guys start beating me up, could be actually more harmful for the environment and we always bragged about how hemp, it grows in 90 days, which is very sustainable. How long does it take for the wheat to grow before you harvest it?
it's about 60 to 75 days.
Oh, so even quicker.
So it's very quick, even quicker.
Yeah.
And it's go ahead.
Are you growing this just for your product, or are you using leftovers from the food industry for this product, like the wheat?
So we work with local farmers that are growing wheat crop to sell the wheat, and then this is the discarded product. They can put some of it back into the soil, but usually they have too much material. There's too much straw to incorporate all of it. And that's where we can come in. So instead of having to burn it or dispose of it in a different way, we can take that product that's essentially a waste product. So and wheat's renewable. So then we can process that and make another use for it. So for everybody's chickens and gardens.
Yeah, that's huge.
I didn't catch that when he said that before. Now, okay. So that's like almost like the hemp, where the herd ended up being a waste product, and we figured out how to make it absorbent. Okay, I get it. You grow
and the rice hull. In the other product.
No, that's
like, this
right.
This
is fantastic.
Because if farmers are burning that, talk about bad for the environment. And
why is that bad for the environment?
When you burn things into the atmosphere?
Yeah, you don't need to burn stuff.
Yeah.
But see, some people make an argument that sometimes burning's good. Okay, for another day. Now listen, so my question is though, or my thought is, okay, that's fascinating. So yes, when you grow wheat, what we really want initially is that kernel, is that wheat seed. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, it's food.
Yeah, so I grew up so poor and so hungry that I used to love when the farmer would grow wheat next to my house. I would literally go out there and eat it. Like I actually loved it. So this is fascinating. So they harvest the kernel. They're going to use that. This would normally get burned or just become waste. It's too much out in the fields. Then we got to, pull it off, but it's not going to waste. So now you're taking that, turning it into this wonderful bedding. And then the other thing I just thought is I think it would be very important for a lot of people, or just something to think about. When you talk about the transportation, okay, you're burning up carbon, right? It's going to take carbon. You're going to have a carbon footprint when you're moving this stuff. And that's what's happening today is we're shipping a lot of stuff. Why I really want to emphasize the value, not only do you get 10 to 12 cubic feet, but think about the space it takes up inside the truck.
It's much less than a bale of straw that you get like from the farm store.
Right. Think about that. You want to cram as much as you can in the truck. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck for all that fuel that you're using and whatnot. But then when you pop it open, think about if you took, 50 bales of healthy straw, 50 bags, and you took 50 bags of hemp and you just open them all up. My God, you're going to have so much more of a diaper, so much more volume for the same amount of transportation. You see what I'm saying here?
Oh, yeah.
So, again, I just think that is so darn cool.
We have some questions.
Yeah,
Can we get to some questions,
Yeah,
please?
so let's go ahead, guys. We are live. It's December 6th. We have Vince from Healthy Straw. Can't thank you guys enough for being here. Vince, thank you for being here. And then if you have any questions for us, especially Vince, and maybe you guys are customers of Healthy Straw, you got particular questions about Healthy Straw, now is the time to ask.
So Matt Ryan asked, does it get that wet straw smell? Which
no.
What? I don't know what wet straw smell is.
Actually, I haven't worked with regular straw very much at all. So, but
Yeah,
it doesn't have a smell.
No, it doesn't.
Because that was the thing that I couldn't
like
wait.
Musty and earthy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing about, and we got to make sure, maybe we should put a link in when this show is over, when you and I went out to the Coop. That again, it was like, if you ever could think about a baby having explosive diarrhea and it's all over them, that was the inside of that run.
It was mucky, smelly.
Oh,
it was bad.
Awful. And then we put this down, and within seconds, there was no more smell. And the chickens were so happy. And that was the other thing, too. Again, we'll continue to get to the questions. And that was kind of one of the final points I wanted Vince to talk about, which goes right into the name, that he has said his customers have seen that their animals are even happier.
Oh, I've seen that myself. Because the chickens work through their bedding in the run, it disappears. I don't know where it goes, but it disappears. I throw out the healthy straw, and you would think that, it just looks like a playground. They are so happy to have something to kick through, to peck through.
It's also incredibly soft.
It is.
And that's the one thing that Vince was saying when we were talking prior to this about that it's so soft on their feet, which is, important.
It's very soft, yeah.
And that's why we like to use
Absolutely.
it with chicks and ducks as well. I mean, it's been our #1 recommended product for chicks and ducks.
Yeah. And just because chickens' feet, we talk about bumblefoot, we talk about them, and it's just their comfort. Like, we don't necessarily think, oh, they're barnyard animals, they're fine. But they will tell you what they like better. They will show you what they like. So, and we all want to make our chickens happy. We know that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what we love to do. And that was the other reason, like when we were trying to do a video of a sales pitch of like, what are the things that are going to be important to people? And of course, as pet lovers, animal lovers, who doesn't love when we make our animals happy? Like you buy that favorite cat toy and the cat goes nuts. You're right. I've actually seen it where these chickens just absolutely love the Healthy Straw. So more questions regarding the Healthy Straw.
Mike asks, does Healthy Straw swell in size like rice when it absorbs liquid?
No, it doesn't really change in size at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't notice that at all.
yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
I just want to get to everyone's questions. So I think it was Joy who said she used, or somebody used like 2 bales in an 8x15 area. And Darshell was asking how many bags of Healthy Straw would it take to cover 5x10 at 12 inches deep, which is kind of like if a railroad is going and a train is going in one direction. Like, that's a little nappy.
This is simple. Hold on. And then what happens? What happens if we bring it?
Okay.
Let's bring it up here.
Okay.
So I hope you guys have noticed, and this is by accident, this is the first time in an interview we actually have 2 widescreen shots where normally it's vertical. So hopefully it's looking pretty good on your guys' end. And I love, I think it was Keith said, Ingrid's mic is too low, meaning actually it's not the volume's too low. She's like this. So thank you first.
Into the mic.
Thank you. So thank you for saying that. So how many bags of Healthy Straw would it take to cover a 5 foot by 10 foot at 12 inches deep. Okay, so that is a great question. Let's work through this real quick.
Can I guess?
Sure.
2.
Well, okay, so 12 inches deep. Okay, so 5 by 10, that's 50 square feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to go 12 inches deep, so if you have, here's how I would figure it out, all right? You got to do it in, especially, well, if we go, well, so that's 50 cubic feet. No, it's actually, I was going to complicate it. We don't have to. That's 50 cubic feet. And if that is going to have to fill up at 12 inches, and per bale, let's just do for easy math 10. What are you guys laughing at?
No, I said it makes my head hurt, all that math.
Oh, no, this is easy. Just you can picture right in your head like blocks. So if it's 10, so it's 5. Right? Do I got that right? Am I right?
I don't know. Do we have any math teachers here in the audience?
I just guessed 2 because we put 2 down in a 6 by 12 space, and it was very thick. May not have been 12 inches thick.
Right, and that's the key here is 12 inches or 1 foot.
I don't know if she
even
needs
need it.
So you have 50
Or
cubic
he,
feet
she.
she wants to fill. And if we have, or even at 12, all right, so let's just take it on the high side. And actually,
Marshall, I would.
Can I chime in here?
Yeah.
Google has a lovely conversion calculator online.
you don't have to do that.
I send the link to customer all the time.
It's easy math. And Vince, I imagine you guys get these questions all the time.
Yeah, what do you
right?
think, Vince?
We do. I would say 5, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I would buy that many and just put 2 down at a time.
But now if you're going to go 12 inches,
I don't know.
that's
if you
pretty
need to go
thick.
12 inches.
You know, and you got to really fluff it up. So here's the other thing, Vince, I wanted to talk about. And this is more from just my personal frustrations in the world of organic material. And you mentioned something that you said is not an issue with Healthy Straw. And again, I don't mean to keep discussing hemp, but it's what I want to do is have this conversation so people can see I am literally to the point, okay? I'm not even selling hemp anymore.
Whoa!
Yeah. If we find out that Healthy Straw can outperform hemp or even perform equally and you can spend less money, why would I not sell this? You know what I mean? I'm always thinking about the pros and cons, but now from a business point of view, okay? Here's how this whole thing started recently is the hemp that came in was very dark. And I have said for years, and truth be told, I've been wrong. I've been wrong when I've been right. That I didn't like the darker hemp because I thought it looked bad. But to cover my butts, and what I've been told up until a recent company is that the darker material is still going to work the same. And I'm like, okay, great. But it doesn't look the same. And of course, I always refer to it as like, why is a toilet white? Why are tissues white? Why are diapers white? Like we psychologically think of that whiter color as being cleaner, and it's obviously worked because people love when we have that bright blonde hemp color. Here's what I've learned. When they are harvesting, you ever heard you got to make hay when the sun shines, right? When they're out there harvesting these products, you got to let it dry. You have what's called a retting process or a retting process, and it can go wrong. It can go terribly wrong, where in this case with hemp, if they don't have the perfect situation and it starts to get wet, it can start to get dark. And I didn't realize that when the hemp does get dark, because if they did have a bad growing season, it's not as absorbent. So the lighter color is better for absorbency. So I asked Vince, I said, talk to us about the retting process out with Healthy Straw, because my fear is, will it ever change? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to ever have this process. So, Vince, talk to us about, because I remember you saying something about there is a difference in the retting process with Healthy Straw.
There is. The way that it cures and the growing season and what it looks like, it protects itself with a coating of lignin during the growing season, so the color won't change. During the harvest season, that's where you could get some rain that could discolor it. But we, we source grade A straw. So we are looking for the top of the top. So we're not looking for all the straw and we're just going to take anything that's out there. We're very particular in the straw that we start with. Has to be a certain color, has to have a certain look, texture, and everything like that before we even process it. So that's what we look for. But in the growing season and in the harvest season, the issues that you'd have with hemp are not an issue with wheat straw.
So that gives me a huge peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's just so fascinating. If you're just joining us, yes, we are live. It is December 6th, 2024, and I see
lots of questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions, and one of them is, what is the difference between fine and coarse? So we talked about that earlier, and it reminded me, I'm going to ask Vince. I want to make him feel a little uncomfortable. Of course, I already agree and completely understand if you can't speak to it, but one of the things that was frustrating on my end in the beginning, because I didn't really understand, why would you buy fine? Why would you buy coarse? I had customers that came here and they're like, oh my God, I love the coarse way more. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know yet why the difference. But one of the reasons why it was bugging me is there was a particular large store chain that was selling Healthy Straw, but they were selling fine. And when I would talk to the reps at Healthy Straw, I'm like, how am I supposed to compete with this store? They're like, you're not selling the same thing. And I'm like, okay, so I got to really learn what makes ours different. But how can I say this? I'm not sure if you can tiptoe about that subject anymore, if it's even still available at some of these larger stores, or can we just kind of touch on that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we were selling into this store chain. It's a big store chain. Everybody knows it. We decided to pull out of it. And the reason that we pulled out is this store chain was selling, brought in a different brand, a different company's product, and was selling it under our brand name. And so for me, I've had this happen once before, and I couldn't believe it in a large store chain like this, that happened to us. But to me, I have to protect my brand. My brand's important. They didn't think it was a big deal at all, which completely shocked me. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, that was a big issue.
Yeah, because you started getting calls. If I remember correctly, you said that you were getting complaints.
Wow.
Yeah, that he was starting getting complaints. And he's like, that doesn't sound like my product. And then to find out they're stealing his brand, everything he's worked for, all the way down to like the barcodes, or, a lot of these systems. It's can you imagine how you're
My stomach doesn't feel good all of a sudden.
How you're not sitting in jail right now? I'll give you a lot of credit. We go through the same thing, and it's just, people just don't understand. This is your child. This is like someone kidnapping your child. When this is your brand. This is something that keeps you up at night, blood, sweat, and tears. So I appreciate you talking about that, because the reason why I wanted you guys to hear that from Vince is, maybe you at one point bought what you thought was Healthy Straw, and you're watching this show right now and you're like, you guys are crazy. It was garbage. It wasn't Healthy Straw. I, without a doubt, I've been 100% sold on the quality of the product, not just the efficacy. Like, the efficacy is what I really need to learn about, like how it absorbs from the bottom up and this and that. I am blown away at how there's just zero dust. You know what I mean? And it's so consistent from bale to bale to bale. And just blown away. And I can't imagine how you figured that out. So bravo to you guys. And just want to make sure people understand, sometimes going to the larger stores is not always a good thing.
Big box stores.
Yeah, the big box stores. And I'm just very grateful, Vince, for you sharing that. And I'm grateful that you give us the opportunity to sell something that's definitely what seems to be better for our particular situation with the chickens and whatnot. But let me ask you this, because I'm sure people are wondering this. Why or when is it best to use a finer chopped up straw, or the fine pieces?
If you wanted to use more of the finer pieces, my suggestion would be, sometimes it's preference, sometimes it's in the heat of summer, you don't need that fluffiness, you don't need that warmth. So you just want the absorption to be maximized, then I'd go with more of the fine. But know within the coarse, when you buy the coarse, there's going to be some shorter pieces in there. Those shorter pieces are going to settle to the bottom. Your longer pieces are going to be at the top. So your absorption from the bottom up, those smaller pieces will be used to maximize absorption with the coarse, but yet you'll still have that fluffiness for the chickens.
And I also wanted to talk that something that we talked about with Vince before was that it's insulating properties, which is not just for the winter. While it's great in the coop in the winter, we all would throw down straw, and now we can throw down the Healthy Straw, insulate a little bit. But even in the summer, it doesn't add, it insulates that from the heat as well. Do you want to? I mean, that's what I've heard from you and on your website that it has that insulating properties.
Right. It'll just slow down that process of either heating up or cooling off. Yeah.
Right. And then, I'm sorry.
Well, which is always good. And that's what I mean by room for error. Yeah. When things start to change, that's why I love the size of our hen houses. If it's really small, you can have rapid change, hot or cold, really, really quick. Where, actually think of it like this. Think of it like if you got caught out in rough seas, I'd much rather be in a bigger boat. You can absorb those rough seas a lot better versus in a little tiny boat. It's kind of
we almost made it through an entire show without some kind of fishing reference.
I'm sorry. It just happens to happen. All right. Well, listen, we're at the top of the hour. Vince, thank you so much for being here. I can't thank you enough. I do hope that this has helped our viewers. I do want to continue, like I promised you. I want to give it a fair shake, not only to promote it and get it out there, but I need to continue to use it myself. I have been so happy with it. If I wasn't, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. I love when I discover something that's great that I know is going to make people's lives that much easier, whether they're getting in the chickens, ducks, what have you. So thank you so much for that. And I hope that we can finish up maybe the conversation we started with just hopefully making a win-win between the two businesses.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show, and I look forward to building something great.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't believe an hour flew by already.
I know.
Holy
there were so many
cow.
more questions.
I love it when we learn stuff
So,
on the show.
and I thought what we could do is I definitely want to go over everyone's questions, but that I think there's going to be more to come without a doubt.
Yeah.
Just like we have spent, people probably don't believe me. We have spent more time talking about hemp or the diaper, if you will, with chicken coops than we actually do the chickens or the chicken coops. But
rarely do you find a product like this that has not only the value but the quality
and the price point.
And the price point, and it's recycling something that's not going to be used. I mean, the reuse and the...
Yeah, we're upcycling.
Yeah. So, man, that's all around.
Yeah, so fire in the questions.
And I love that he came from an agricultural background.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and I think that obviously
he's one of us.
Well, there are some questions I think only Vince could answer.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's see what it is.
One was about if it was grown organically. Do we know that we're taking the byproducts from other farmers?
I doubt it. I mean, just because it's
but we don't know that.
No.
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
right.
I mean, I'm going to check his
Typically,
website.
if it's grown organically, it's going to be marked on the package.
I was just looking for it.
Right, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily use pesticides. You can use organic principles without being certified organic. You can only put organic if you're certified organic.
Yeah.
It might be different in Canada, but I know here you have to be certified organic. But I don't know about like where. I mean, he's very picky about the farmers he uses. So, and I know it's non-GMO. I know that much. So
actually, if it's grown in Canada, does Canada allow?
I don't even think they use glyphosate.
I don't think they do.
Mm-mm.
So
I have
that
no
would
idea
be
what you guys are
the
even
primary
talking about.
concern.
Right.
Roundup.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's non-GMO. So I'm pretty sure it says non-GMO on there.
So, I mean, we'll have Vince on again. What I want to do is get into us really pushing it. And we already did in one of the worst situations. So I can't see why it would not work in the hen house with the deep litter system, but it is going to be completely different because it's not getting the oxygen from the ground. It's going to be composting in an anaerobic state. I think it was Jimmy that came up with this idea that he said, well, why don't we split the hen house in half? It was you? I'm sorry. Okay, Ingrid came up with a great idea. I'm sorry, I can't remember everything.
You were so excited.
Yes, I'm still very excited. I am sorry, Ingrid. Ingrid came up with a great idea that we split the hen house in half and have hemp on one side, healthy straw on the other. So we've been talking about doing that. I am worried that may not really, I don't know what that's really going to teach us other than it would look really cool and make for some great content for social media videos. It'd probably piss off a lot of people. So actually we should do it just for that reason.
Well, I think it's easier to compare when you see it side by side. That's all I'm saying. Like when you're going like, this is this coop, and then you run over here and this is on this coop. If it was actually in the same thing, you can see how quickly it breaks down. I mean, I think to be fair, you would have to clean out the hemp that you have in there, put new hemp in one and the farm straw in the other side.
I think the chickens are going to totally mess up your gig in there.
I'm telling you, the last big step for us is to, like, for the run area, sold all day long. Absolutely love the Healthy Straw out in the run area. I am curious what the chickens are going to do to the Healthy Straw if it's inside the hen house. I think they're going to make a mess.
I would put it in I'm interested in trying it for deep litter, and I'm also interested in trying it in the egg hutches. Now I know they like to make the nest, but if you had it,
Now you're pushing it. Now you just took me over the edge with that one.
I want to try it in one of my egg hutches.
Okay, you do it.
Yeah,
because I can't do it.
No, I'm going to try it. I'm just going to try it in like one nest box.
You know what I would do is I would layer it. I would put this at the bottom of the egg hutch, and then I would put some long pieces on top.
Yep.
Well, here's the other selling point that we were talking about when we had our marketing meeting. I think, Ingrid, you came up with this point. I hope I got that right.
Or me or Jimmy or whatever.
So one of the things that you said that makes Healthy Straw there's huge value to is you can technically buy this one product, and if you're sold on using it in the egg hutches for the nest boxes, you don't have to have hemp for the hen house, Healthy Straw for the run, and then go get some type of grass hay for the egg hutch, where you can have one product that does it all.
Yeah, and I think for some people, we always look at things in terms of Carolina Coops, but there's so many people that don't have Carolina Coops, but buy from us. So if you have kind of that shed style thing, this would be great on the ground, and that's where they're pooping, and that's where you're kind of deep littering.
Yeah.
If you have one of those, like, I don't know, the egg hutches are kind of like milk crates or something, the little boxes. Maybe this would be good just because it would insulate the eggs, because I was also worried. I saw one of my hens laying an egg early in the morning, and I said, I got to go back there because I don't want it to freeze, because it was only like 22 degrees, and she was already there when it was 22 degrees. So this could help worrying about like not getting to your eggs.
That's not bad.
So yeah, that's why I would layer it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to put something on the bottom so they can't, because I have the wood on the bottom. I don't want them to scrape that away, but I want to just kind of like
and it makes it soft, a soft landing pad for the eggs.
Yeah, I was actually going to try the hay on the bottom and then pile this up and see what happens.
Interesting. So I did try to switch to the comments, and I saw our camera's gone. This thing has turned into a mess. I think we need to do a full reset on our eCam. And I tell you, speaking of full reset, I have been thinking about a lot of things. I've been thinking about so many things that it'll probably scare the hell out of you. I've even thought about not doing VCL anymore. I thought about changing it up, and of course, I would love your guys' opinion, and I want to do VCL. Let me be clear, and here's where I confuse the hell out of people. There's what I want, and then there's what we need to do. I love this. I come to you guys a lot, especially in my moments where I'm really, really pissed off or whatever. I just got to get it out there. It helps me so much. But I even thought about, we're trying to grow the show. And it gets stagnant right around that 75 to 100 people per week. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to add
on the live.
On the live, yes. Now, truth be told, our downloads do really well.
Yeah.
So, I probably am nuts. But I thought about, is the green screen too confusing?
No.
You know what I mean? I thought about maybe just doing a black background. Like
that
what?
Looks so public access to me.
What's that mean?
I used to work.
Is
in
it low
public
budget?
Yeah, it looks low budget. It looks like two men in a fern or whatever. The conversations between a fern. It's like that black curtain and the two chairs, and
See,
somebody's getting my references. I know it.
Yes.
Okay, I don't get it. So I like the green screen, and it does an amazing job. But I don't know if we need to go back and change this more often. Like, there's just so many things I think we're not doing. We're not forcing ourselves to grow VCL, and of course, social media altogether. Just so frustrating.
Suzanne says, "So are you guys selling Healthy Straw again?"
Yeah, so I saw that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I got a whole warehouse full of it. It is available. Now here's the other thing. Just being transparent. I'm sorry, folks. There's no such thing as free shipping. We choose our words very carefully. We say on our website with everything shipping included.
Right.
And our shipping prices went through the roof. I made a huge mistake thinking, whatever. We made some decisions that long-term result, short-term, is our pricing for shipping's gone up because we're trying to do the Amazon FBA and we're sending things out via pallets and not shipping per box like we were in the beginning. So because of that decreased shipping per box and going out all LTL, it's UPS changes our rates. They go, well, you're not shipping as much with us, so poof, your rates are going to go up. They went through the roof. So we have to adjust our pricing accordingly. So we got to fight this fight again. Could always use your guys' help, your support, and that's one of the reasons why, again, I want to do this show. I want to share with you guys something that we 100% believe in. Vince is not paying us to do this. Carolina Coops is paying for this, and it's here just to educate you guys on that this is a product that I am blown away by and that you should seriously consider it. And why I wanted to talk a little bit about the price point earlier, because hemp's been very successful. Bottom line, hemp is very, very successful. And I would like to think Carolina Coops has a lot to do with that with the industry. But I am willing to bet, and I guess that's what I'm saying right now, that I think this will do really well in the deep litter system, that we may end up finding out us promoting hemp could be a thing of the past if this works just as well and it's a better value for the customer.
I think this is my experience with HealthiStraw, but I haven't used it as deep litter. I think it might break it down faster, but you're also getting twice as much. So
it's going to be a wash.
Pretty much. It might break down a little bit faster.
So if it breaks down faster, that means, and that's why Vince mentioned something that's very interesting, is we're big on you can go over a year without cleaning out your hen house. Now, if this breaks down faster, that means you got to clean out your hen house twice a year.
Maybe.
So that means...
No, I'm thinking no, because so you have a bag of hemp or you have a bag of HealthiStraw. The HealthiStraw is twice as big, so you can still use that. Say you're just using one bag, just for this analogy, and you go through your 5 cubic feet, and that lasts a year. But this is 10 cubic feet, and that lasts a year.
Or it might just break down into, let's say, dirt.
Yeah, it's
sooner.
totally.
But you leave the dirt in the chicken coop at the bottom, like I did, which is what happened to the 6-year coop. Is it was just dirt at the bottom. It had all broken down into the smallest particles.
It potentially can turn into a wash.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think so. And if you look at anything that composts, and we use a lot of compost bins, and we don't do anything. We're not like professional composters with the heat and this.
Yeah.
We just kind of fill them and have a bunch of them. But at the bottom, it's dirt. So eventually, I mean, that's what they all are. At the bottom, there might be like watermelon rinds in there, but at the bottom of the compost bin, there's dirt. And that's the way it breaks down. And this is the same type of thing. And I think it's going to work great in there. I don't think it's going to have, it's not going to smell. I think it's going to work great.
Well, we're going to test it and we're going to find out.
Yeah. So Nan is adamant about getting a coop out there. And to really do a test, you got to have You got to have side-by-side exacts. And I don't know if we were going to do an 8x American. I want a 6x American out there. And Kaylee, I liked what we had before, and I want to add the Craftsman coop. But I don't know. I think we will just know, even if we did the half and half. And I even thought about taking a piece of polycarbonate. Like, I thought we would take a piece of polycarbonate and make a T, or maybe put a board, splitting the hen house in half, and screw a piece of polycarbonate to the end of that board. So when you drop down the deep litter door, you don't have to worry about everything becoming a mess.
That
but you
would
have
be good.
I
like that. The see-through.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Yeah,
Who doesn't?
A viewing window for your chicken poop.
Yeah. Speaking of chicken poop, I meant to ask you, whatever happened to your chicken poop necklace you used to do every week? Just kind of gave up on it?
No, I lost it. I'll make another one.
So a chicken poop viewing window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always
exciting.
like that when I do it, because I do it about every
poop
2 years.
Poop view.
Whenever
Good one,
I bring the drop down door, it's always just kind of stiff like that,
Yeah.
and you see that bottom. I mean, it's great. So Laura Sampson says 100% non-GMO, pesticide and herbicide free. So.
Okay, yeah, that is a great question. I should have. That is a good question. All right, so. Again, if you guys are just joining us, and I'm sorry you missed a great interview with Vince, the founder of HealthiStraw, and I didn't want to throw out the name of the big box store. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. He is in litigation with it. When he told me that...
That is just unbelievably rotten.
Oh, my. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. That's like someone kidnapping your child. Yeah. That's like Meet the Fockers, and they gave it Jinxie, and he spray painted the tail. Like, I don't know. That is just so wrong, because that's big time. He was selling big time.
And we should also, I'm sorry, Kristen.
Oh,
we should also mention that we have this available for pickup here. So if you're in or you're driving through, you might want to grab some bales, because then you're going to save on that shipping included price.
Yeah. And I just have a question. Is it HealthiStraw or FarmStraw? What's the brand name?
The brand name is HealthiStraw. The type of product that we're selling is FarmStraw.
Of course. Exactly. Okay. Great question. All right, hold on a minute. Hi, Matt. Your antifreeze drinking system is not working in Europe because of the voltage. We have 230 volt. So one of the things, okay, mind blown right now. One of the things I realized right away when we went to do the job in Italy, everything's 230 volt. There's not just one hot and a neutral. They have two hots. Or there is a hot and a neutral, and that one hot line's a 230. Like, that is nuts. Have we sold... Hold on. So John must have one of our heated water systems in Europe.
Is he a customer from
Yeah, John, let me in on some details because I'll be honest with you, I never even thought about that. But he's exactly right. If you can't even plug our system in, and if you have an adapter, hit me with it. And then I don't know. So listen, and I don't know if. It is nuts voltage in Europe. And even this, they're very, very smart making sure you can't plug something in incorrectly where you can potentially start a fire because you have too thin of a wire. And so we went nuts a little bit. And even this, which is what was used in Italy, I don't know if this is what's used all over Europe, but there's actually two different styles of this where one's a little bit further apart, one's a little bit closer. They look so close, but they won't work. If you use this for our system, I don't know if it would still work or not. I apologize. I never, ever thought about this, but I need to find out. Holy cow, my mind is blown right now, John. Please email us or chime in here with some more details. And I apologize. I mean, I'm assuming you bought one of our systems. Maybe you bought one of our Coops and our system came with it.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I want to know more about this. Oh, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now until I figure this out. But I first need to know, is it one leg that's 230 volt? I just assume there's two with no neutral, which is insane to me, but that might be. I guess I got to do some research. I'm not going to bore you guys with all that. But maybe one of these adapters will work. But I have to imagine a lot of people, especially in Europe, know that or maybe they don't. I don't know. My mind is blown.
So Diane says, I'm currently using chopped straw and hemp combo in my nesting boxes. They lay just fine, and my eggs have not frozen. I have an external box, too. So, it's just,
hold on. Slow down. Okay. See, this is what I worry. You just scroll by.
That's her job, though.
You scroll.
She is the producer.
Yeah, I know, but Karsten, we have done live shots of chickens on the green screen. Also, for me to scrolling on top is distracting. Hold on. So, also for me scrolling on top. That's distracting.
Yeah, and a couple other listeners commented that they'd like to see the Italy coop in the background.
Yeah, we should put that back there.
I do like that too when we have a different coop in the background for each show or.
And I literally think it's that simple.
Yeah.
Here's the whole point to this show or anything that's on YouTube or social media. It's real simple. It's all about keeping someone's attention.
Yeah. Or make it enjoyable
for
them to watch.
And who wouldn't tune in and stay here throughout the entire show? We got your attention, don't we? Probably not. It's all.
We just want to make it fun for them and enjoyable and visually exciting.
No, we don't. We want to just keep their attention at what cost?
From the Coop cam?
Huh?
Do the live stream from the Coop cam behind you.
You have a Coop cam?
What are you talking about? Coop cam behind me.
She's saying stream it. Stream what the chickens are doing.
We don't get a Coop cam.
I don't know. All right. So, but Carson's saying you have tried to take credit when you have Cracker Muncher out here that's when the show always does really, really well.
Of course it
does. Okay, so questions. All right, please fire away with all your questions. Let's see how long we can keep Ingrid here before
we have a meeting, remember?
Oh, boy, do we have a meeting.
What time's your meeting?
So I don't want to be doing another 2.5 hour show.
I made lemon cookies.
Why not?
They're Non's favorite. Would you like one?
What do you want for dinner tonight, Ingrid?
Oh, God, stop.
Hold on. No, Ingrid and I and Non, we have a meeting.
What time? I want a lemon cookie.
And we're going to be, you talk about thinking a lot and resetting some things. I am trying to get Ingrid to do probably what she's going to think. She's going to say a million times. Can I have one? What?
Thank you.
Sheesh.
Thank you, Kristen.
We are hoping to start brainstorming and figuring out. We know what our new website we want it to look like. We got to figure out how to execute on it. What are these cookies? Are these?
Oh my God, these are so good.
Are these keto?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
But have one.
You're right. I forgot we have a meeting. All right, we'll get to that. All right.
They're good with your coffee. You could
All
probably
right.
have one.
Mike Trapp says he just ordered all 3 FarmStraw Fine Course Pet Straw to see the difference and what works best for our chinchillas and chickens.
Yeah, let us know, Mike.
Yeah, so here's the bottom line, guys. I obviously want to sell solutions to you guys. And my mission has always been I want everyone to have chickens, and I want people to realize they can have chickens. And you can still have a professional life. You can still go on vacation. You can still live a normal life, but still have chickens. And Healthy Straw could be the next thing to make it even easier for you to have chickens. I just know I love hemp, and I will always love hemp. I love the future of hemp. I love the history of hemp. It's a volatile situation when you're dealing with organic material, period. And I've told the people that we bought hemp from and farmers, I would never want their job. They're dealing with Mother Nature and the rain and the processing. And it's a nightmare, especially to have us as a customer to supply this hot. We're so demanding of a very premium product. And what it's boiled down to is that a lot of it, you're at the mercy of the retting process. And I have been wrong saying, okay, if it's a little bit darker in color, it's going to be just as absorbent. But I've always been right, demanding, I don't care, I want the light color. So the hemp that we stand by technically is more absorbent. Will you really notice a difference in the hen house? I don't know.
Well, it's so much better than wood shavings. Like, it's just a matter of, okay, we've topped this by quite a bit, and you've topped that by quite a bit, and, this product might top all of it. Who knows?
I love your guys' comments. If you guys have ideas for back here, because I don't know.
They want like customer Coops and the Italy Coop.
We used to have a rotation. Remember that?
They want to see
There's
Coops.
too much clutter on this e-can.
Yeah, this e-can, we got to, yes.
We got to clean it up.
Clean it up, Ingrid. Clean it up, will you?
Throw it out the window.
Yeah.
So Doug also says the product is not certified organic, but is glyphosate free, which is
That's our primary concern.
Yeah.
If I can speak for people.
All right.
In general.
Glyphosate free, meaning that's the active ingredient in Roundup?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, which we're learning is causing all kinds of negative health effects, right?
Well,
That's right.
I have learned that
Gluten
a long time ago.
intolerances.
Gut issues.
One at a time. Okay, I'm sorry. What, Ingrid?
No, I'm not saying learning. I've known that for about, 15 years.
How did you learn about it?
Because I do a lot of reading on things, and I have an organic process garden. I also think it's contributed to pet cancers because people use it on the lawn.
Yeah.
And we see so many pet cancers for dogs and cats.
So here's why I asked that is, and I also have a little bit of experience with pesticides, in this case, herbicides and insecticides, and I see the abuse that happens. That used to drive me nuts. Here's my problem. How do you really know what to believe anymore? Okay, and here we're having this movement, make America healthy again, and we know what happened during COVID. We didn't know what to believe, and everything became so political. There's people that are just pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine. At the end of the day, how do we even really know? Okay,
We do know. There's science that has shown.
Scientists are bought and sold.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, see, that's where we go. It's,
Actually, if I can speak.
hold on, will you?
Yeah,
You promise?
I think that if we always go back to what's natural. And
Into the mic.
If we go back to what's natural and live a natural, healthy life, just go back to the basics. We grow food without pesticides. That's just kind of common sense. That if you want to eat healthy, you eat whole foods, you eat normal foods, you don't eat processed foods, you don't eat foods with pesticides. It's just kind of common sense. We don't really need science to tell us that, I don't think.
Microwaving your food.
And if they're out there in the field spraying glyphosate or Roundup, they are covered from head to toe.
Yeah, and those people have had successful lawsuits and been awarded.
And it's
Right.
banned in
That's
Europe.
not what I am saying. What I'm
Okay, but
saying
you're
is,
saying-
what do we do today to verify that what we are being told is true? Because you can't tell me there's not science research that they're not bought and sold.
the thing is, if you say you can't believe anything, then
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how do you go about, how do we now today, where finally people are waking up more than ever going, basically what you just said, like we need to go back to what is natural and understand is lactose intolerant. What does that mean? Is it because it's really the milk, or is it because of the way the milk is processed? Okay, I can see both. And of course there's reasons why we have gotten to where we are today. And that is where I've said it over and over, food, to provide us food or something we're going to eat, whether you define it as food or not, has to be very affordable and has to be very available. And that's where I have learned, in my opinion, if you think about it, is why we've gotten into having all these herbicides and all these health problems. But they must at some point had to get the FDA, all right, and the USDA to approve it, but they got to have all this research. Were they not bought and sold?
I don't know what that has to do with the point of that. It's a chemical that gets into our food that is cancer.
Take fluoride, for example.
I don't want to. I don't.
Well, I'm just saying. So how do we now today? I am thankful that it's finally becoming available, right?
Well, I mean, like I said, I think we should probably have as little additives in our water as possible, because I would like a more natural water product. I don't want pharmaceuticals in it or anything
right,
else.
but when it goes,
like I want well water.
It goes through, but most people's water goes through a treatment plant.
Right. But when you go through a treatment plant, they do add things, and then you have.
It's insane what they add to it, and that's how I saw it with my own eyes.
I just want the least added. Yes, keep it safe, but that's it. I don't want anything added to it.
So you're saying,
and then that's the case with my food too. Like I just want just natural food. That's what I want.
John answered your question, by the way, if you want to get to that.
Okay, sure. I guess we have to change subject here. I don't have it yet. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, I don't have. Yeah, that worked very well. Okay. No, I don't have it yet. A converter is not simple because of the high 1500 watt de-icer. Yes, and this kind of de-icer doesn't exist here. I have your Coop and love it, John. Okay, thank you. Help me, dude. Call. Where in Europe are you?
I think that he may not need the 1500 in Europe. It might
don't start with that.
It might be a more temperate climate.
No, don't start. No, abort. That has got us in trouble, and that is why we don't offer it anymore.
Farm Innovators says that you don't need a...
I understand, but is Farm Innovators here answering the calls when people are like, well, I'm kind of in this zone, but my system failed?
I know, but if you're in Florida, you don't need a 1500.
I understand, but we have also learned what customers want, and that is plug it in and not have to worry about it, and that's why we've upgraded to the 1500.
Right, so he should probably get a de-icer from Europe that he can plug in that's suitable for his climate.
No, he should call Carolina Coops, and we're going to figure out a solution and ship these over to Europe.
He's saying that thank you. That kind of de-icer doesn't exist in Europe.
Well, they got to use something.
We don't know. So now, oh my God, I am so excited about this conversation now because I never even once thought about this when we're sending Coops to Australia.
How do they keep their water for their livestock?
Maybe it's not out in the elements.
Listen,
they got to use something.
We got to go back to Italy. I am so, oh my gosh, we got a customer up in Switzerland. It's got to be getting cold up there.
She didn't finish her coop.
Why not?
It got too cold. I just heard from her.
Oh, darn. Man.
But that means that she needs us to go help her.
Yes, that's what I mean. And
you just said it's too cold.
Yeah, maybe we'll wait till March.
All right, awesome. And then I want to just kind of go back to the conversation we were just having. Trust me, I am in no way, shape, or form defending Roundup and that active ingredient at all. If anything, I couldn't agree more. I think we need to go back to what is natural, and we have to change our mindset that food isn't supposed to be cheap, quick, and easy. That we actually should have to work for it. And if we're gonna make America, let's face it, are we a healthy nation?
Let's bring in Karsten's comment.
Okay, fine.
You can read it, Matt.
Matt, oh, great. You're a great storyteller and keep us informed and interested throughout the show. Kristen is a great sidekick to
Gird.
Ingrid, to gird you on. Is that, I don't know what gird you on means. Ingrid does awesome job keeping show focused, keeps the truth. Yes. So thank you. Yeah. That's why this can never change. If one of you guys decide to fall off the face of the earth or whatever, I can't see this show ever going on. Because it does.
I think it will.
Karsten, that is a great observation.
Yes, thank you. No, I totally, because we're all very different, and that's what helps this show click. And I appreciate him saying that because, go ahead.
John's from Belgium.
Belgium.
Right.
I don't know the climate there.
See, FDA cannot be trusted. That was the point I was trying to make.
Well, there's a congressional hearing today with the FDA.
Into the mic. See, here's what I do, Kristen. When you go like this.
Yeah, but I can also
this.
say, like, big corporations like Bayer that does Roundup cannot be trusted.
Oh, 100%. Again, all you got to do is follow the money. How do these politicians end up so rich? You know, and then think about it. The lobbying is insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to, and maybe it's just the way my head works. I like to solve problems. And when you're using a tool or something to solve a problem, you got to trust the tool. So say, for example, I'm measuring voltage. I got to trust that I can trust the voltage meter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? How do we really know what to believe? And let's think about it. The world we're leaving our kids, how are they going to know what to believe with AI going to dominate everything? You got it now where you can go into church and have a confession and Jesus is looking at you from a computer screen. Like this is, think about it, how much this is going to change.
I want to do that.
How much it's going to, and you know how it's extremely popular. That's
Gary Blaylock says we've entered the tinfoil hat portion of the show. This is when we go off the rails a little bit.
Well, no, it's not that we're going off the rails, but again, this is.
I tried, Gary. I really tried.
I'm gonna make some tinfoil Christmas hats this weekend.
Oh, that's not bad. That's funny, Nan. No, but
we all get one.
See, good point. Let us
Absolutely.
not blindly follow the science. Here's the thing. Follow the money, period. I think if we all want to come together, especially in this country, and say, okay, we're going to all get healthy again, how are you going to do that? Because you got to get people, it gets so damn politicized, but that's because of the money. And you can't really trust it. They love to cause the argument. I'm sorry, we saw that during COVID. Regardless of what your opinion is, the divide was insane.
Well, the FDA and Congress was getting grilled on why do you allow red 40 and red number 3. So it was a good. I was watching that this morning.
Are you not thankful? Everyone must agree. We are so thankful that all this is finally coming up. Mm-hmm. Along with the UFOs. Okay, is that going too far?
Let me get your hat.
I'm pretty sure I got picked up a couple times on my way to work.
Dude, and that they're going to release the JFK files, and hopefully you can believe that. I don't know. I'm just really excited. I'm really excited.
I think people also believe what fits their narrative. So
that's true. That's confirmation bias, right?
That is, yes. And that's where that also scares me.
Social media is definitely a player in that.
Yeah,
and
not
it
helping.
only
Not
shows
helping.
you one side, the side that you're on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They do that on purpose. Why? Because it keeps your attention. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You and I could Google. No, you and I could go on to social media and do the same search. And if we have complete different people, we're going to get two different answers. Mm-hmm. That is what I mean.
That's why it's hard to get the truth.
Thank you. So if we aren't willing to finally admit because here's what the internet did for a lot of us. And I still believe there's a lot of good. All of a sudden, we all think we know everything. But what happens if you've been learning something that's we've been being lied to? That's going to be a hard thing to change, especially if people are making billions and billions of dollars off of it.
I think one thing, and I'll not say anything more, but I think one thing that social media has done to that end is to remove people's critical thinking. I think we have to get back to being critical thinkers, and instead of being fed, this YouTube thing says this thing says this, Instagram says this.
TikTok told me so.
TikTok told me so.
Okay, I totally agree. Define critical thinking.
Because you don't. So if you read something, so if I read something and I'd be like, that's interesting. Now I go back and think about it. Does it make sense? What's the source? It's kind of doing an investigation, find other things that confirm it on other websites that aren't just being fed to me on my sidebar.
Or another browser.
Or another, whatever it is. Or
see if you can dig up some more information on it.
Sometimes, like, you will say something, and I just, like, why does he think like that? And then I will go in and do all this deep dive as to where that thought came from what your madness, whatever it was, that made you say something that I completely disagree with. But I want to know why you think like that. So I want to know where that came from. So I'll, like, do this deep dive about it for it to make sense to me. So it's just that we're being fed so much information and we're just not thinking clearly about it. We're just accepting all the different things, especially the ones that fit our narrative.
Okay, so great. Here's a great example. Here's a conversation between Ingrid and I.
Oh,
and
God.
I'm like, there's no way she's right, but okay, so I'm a critical thinker, and I'm like, okay, so I did some quick research because I was like, there's no way she's right. And it's not, this isn't about whether Ingrid was right or wrong. It's about the conversation we were having, especially doing a holiday blitz and Christmas and this and that. Ingrid said to me, more people celebrate Thanksgiving than they do Christmas.
Yeah, I said Thanksgiving is a busier time of year because, it's a non-religious holiday. So in the United States, I'm not saying more people in the world, more people in the United States will celebrate Thanksgiving than they do Christmas. Yes.
Okay, and
Is it a non-religious holiday?
According to the research, that's not true. Because I was like,
really?
How in the world is that possible? Yeah. Now, can you trust the research, this and that? I don't know. How do they come up with it? I don't know. But me, initially, I'm thinking, and I didn't know you meant the United States. I'm thinking globally, there's no way, because only the United States celebrates Thanksgiving. But in the United States, 90% of the Americans celebrate Christmas, 80% celebrate Thanksgiving, which I do find interesting. I don't know. But the point is, I think
I would have to question that, because that means that, whatever.
I mean, what about Hanukkah and Kwanzaa? And
Do you guys want cotton balls on your Christmas tinfoil?
Anyways, okay. So
yes, non.
I think, and that's why I wish we could start the other podcast, because why can't we have those conversations and question it, and maybe
gives
go
me
to
anxiety.
That's scary.
I had a argument with my niece.
You give me anxiety
at Thanksgiving about let's say a political issue. And we had our talking points and we were going back and forth. But then I stepped back and I said, well, let's just look at it from the big picture. Where do we agree? And when we started at the top and said, okay, this is the issue, and then we broke it down, our disagreement was way down here in the details. So if you talk about issues and you start at the high level, we all agree a lot more than we don't.
It's all about having a conversation.
Right.
Without having the conflict.
Yeah.
So many great comments. I can't thank you guys enough for all this. I want to, this is good stuff. Like someone was just saying something about the sugar industry. Nan saw firsthand the sugar industry. She won't eat white sugar.
Gross.
Yeah, it's crazy. Farm Innovators has a great helpline. Yes, they do. Just like FarmStraw or HealthiStraw. I love Farm Innovators. Those guys are just good people over there. FDA makes money on every product drug they approve. I thought the FDA was the government.
Their funding is from private corporations.
So they need the funding to keep their job. Oh, imagine that. Okay.
Did you ever see one of those, like, I don't know if it was Dope Sick or one of the things about OxyContin? Those movies.
Oh, yeah.
We'll tell you how the FDA works.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, my buddy Ben, says, I come for the chickens, but stay for the tinfoil
Well,
hats.
thank you, Ben. Yeah, because I was just in the back of my mind going, people are just going to start getting pissed off.
They are. They're going to tune out.
Oh, we forgot the disclaimer in the beginning. This is a live show. This is a show where we have conversations. I'm sorry if we don't just get right to the point.
Anything can happen.
Anything.
And I can't control what comes out of Matt's mouth.
But I stay for the tinfoil hats.
Maybe
Anyways,
there should be, like, you should have like a image of squirrels running around in the background when this happens.
I love you guys. Look at
I love Karsten. Karsten says, Kristen, watching VCL is my confirmation bias for my chicken addiction.
There you go.
Yeah, and this
We're
show
glad to help.
With my chicken addiction, it makes me feel like I'm not alone in the world.
That's
right.
Thank
you.
It's hard to teach the kids to think critically when the educational system doesn't want that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So I
read an article about Gen Z entering the workplace, and they keep getting fired because they don't have certain skills like accepting criticism and showing up on time.
You guys are getting real sassy now.
No, I know, but here's the point why it all comes back to chickens, and why we do what we do is.
Oh, thank you for bringing that back to chickens.
Well, people are without a doubt, history always repeats itself. Always does. And there's no doubt in my mind, and I know you guys, we take it, we're taking everything for granted, especially in this country. We just do not realize how good we have it. And that's going to come back and bite us in the ass sooner or later. I just hope it's not my lifetime. But here, without a doubt, to be able to talk about getting healthy again. What does that really mean? What does healthy really mean to people? Why are we not healthy? Like, do you understand how hard this is going to be to almost re-educate people or get people to rethink how they think, to accept things? Like, think about it. I still get criticized about the eggs. They're like, what do you mean you're not going to refrigerate that? Like my mother, and I talked about on the Sean Duffy podcast, where when he was asking me questions, I remember my upbringing, my mother, I'm scared to think how many vaccines I had. I was constantly at the doctor's, and I was a sick kid. Now I think about it. Oh my God, I was sick all the time. It's hard to get people to change that, but that's the direction I'm just so glad to be part of it.
You also didn't have a lot of nutrition when you were growing up.
That's true.
You always talk about how you didn't have enough to eat and stuff.
It was horrible.
Which also helps you to become sick.
Yeah, now my mother's going to disagree. I wish my mother would listen, but she's like, no. Look at you now, Matthew. I did such a great job.
Look, you survived.
Oh,
you're welcome.
God.
All right.
No. Okay, so here I'm gonna take over the mouse. We're gonna get to the questions and comments. Where are we down in the queue? Okay. All right. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I can't thank you guys enough for being here.
And I have a meeting later
with us.
Oh, okay, whatever. But
okay, good. And then did we make it?
Letting people know.
Did we make it on X? And also, I keep forgetting to ask everyone, if you are on LinkedIn, please go follow Carolina Coops on LinkedIn. We can't go live on LinkedIn until we hit another 800 people or something.
Something like that.
God, that's ridiculous.
We may not want to be there.
Why? On LinkedIn?
I mean, it may not be worth the effort. I mean, we may not pick up viewers. I don't know.
I don't know. To be honest with you, but we don't know until we get there. Okay? I feel like I'm in the wild frontier right now on social media. And it's a fascinating world.
See, Bruce says, based on traffic figures, both gasoline usage and air travel, and that's where I was getting mine. Thanksgiving is celebrated more because we were talking about travel versus. And that was the context of where I say that more people travel on Thanksgiving, because you were like, why aren't we working on Friday? Why, and I said people are traveling because they're traveling for Thanksgiving, and that's how I know that.
Some of this stuff is
my mother was an American, so.
Oh, here's a question. Jimmy, our dear friend Jimmy, always deserves this. Hey, Matt and Kristen, we want to introduce Jimmy? A rooster to an established flock. What can we Jimmy, why?
Mayhem. You can expect mayhem.
What in the world? So we were just at Jimmy's house. I want to give you guys a little bit of a teaser. We just went to Jimmy's house. Jimmy, who lives down the road from us, his lovely wife, Danielle, who does a lot of our artwork for us. Jimmy needed a new door for his crawl space. And he came up with a great idea. He goes, Matt, can you make it out of Acre? I'm like, hell yeah. So he came here. We made a door out of Acre. And I was like, man, what a great solution. Again, it's just a waterproof material. And I told the other Jimmy Videos here, I said, grab your phone. You're coming with me. We're going to go to Jimmy's house. And he had a run addition that he built off the back of his coop. And I asked him, I said, how's it going? I go, what do you wish you would have listened to me on? He goes, I wish we would have done the metal roof, this and that. So we got all that on video, and we dumped a couple bales of healthy straw in that big run area, and the chickens just absolutely loved it. But more importantly, guess what we got to do? We did a follow-up video on that greenhouse.
Oh, yeah?
What'd you think of that greenhouse, Jimmy?
Oh, it was amazing.
Were you surprised?
Yeah. It was, 20, 25 degrees warmer inside?
Oh, yeah.
More.
Oh, I know. So it actually works.
Yeah.
That's a plus. But think about it. That was a 10 by 12 structure that's probably 14 foot tall, 12 pitch roof. And we designed it so it can be completely shipped. And yes, there are some changes we need to make. I've learned a lot. But I want people to order some greenhouses. I so badly want our greenhouse out there because it's way.
We don't have an assembly manual for that.
No, we don't. But we can do it turnkey. I love greenhouses. And I think more and more people are going to need to get greenhouses. Why not? And I haven't been back since we assembled it. I never saw it stained or oiled. It looks so good. We'll make a couple changes. But have you gone out to see it?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, and that was one reason why it changed my opinion about the storm shields a little bit. Just be careful. Fully enclosing that run with the polycarbonate panels. If you have warm days, like in North Carolina, we have 60 degrees and then we've got 20 degrees. And we have a lot of sunny days. So just be careful with that greenhouse effect in the moderate climates.
Yeah. So okay.
That was my only.
All right. So Jimmy,
thought.
I'm not even going to answer this question because you should not be getting a rooster. You have lost
and
your mind.
if you do want a rooster, get
Don't
one.
encourage him.
Get
Don't
one
even say
next
it's
year
silky.
with the chicks.
Oh.
Like get a batch of chicks. You'll probably end up with a rooster.
Jimmy,
and keep that
what
one.
in the hell are you thinking?
You want one that's been raised with the chickens if possible.
Call me later. All right. Listen. Let's talk about this because it is cold out, and we did have a customer recently on YouTube, and I appreciate that they gave us credit or whatever. They have one of our coops, and they bought our storm shields, but they cut them in half. And her thought process was that we'll just put it around the bottom like skirting or like
block
an
the wind.
And block the wind, but that doesn't mean you're not going to stop the sideways wind and rain. But she did say, she goes, when they enclosed the whole thing, they did trap a lot of humidity and moisture, and yeah, that could obviously definitely potentially cause a problem. If that works for you, fine. It made me wonder, should we start offering all the polycarbonate storm shields in half and give you that option? But what we have always said, like you're saying, if you're in one of those climates where it could potentially cause major problems with the greenhouse effect, only put it on one side.
Yeah, or leave the end uncovered or something like that. You just need, maybe you don't put every panel on. Well, you definitely don't put every panel on in the fall. Kind of make it a
maybe slowly work into it.
Two-stage.
It's kind of like when you wear clothes. Like you're gonna start with the kind of like a fall coat, and then now we're getting to the winter coat, and then today you got the full parka with the No, listen. Here's the thing why I'm kind of hesitant on doing the whole entire bottom. The wind will still blow through. Okay, or especially when it comes in, can actually circulate. I don't think it's going to work as well as you think it is. Versus if you just block one side, if wind comes in, it has to be able to go out. So if you block one side, it can't go out. It doesn't come in. It kind of creates like a bubble, if you will. Believe it or not.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just kind of think about that.
It's not one size fits all because we have so many different climates in the United States, and even in one climate we have microclimates and different situations. So. There's a lot of flexibility with these panels because you can just put one on at a time.
All in caps, I love this show. Thank you so much. Please help this show
Carrie.
continue to grow. We got to figure out how to continue it. All right. So Carson's got a question. Yeah, if you guys have a question, put a big question right there. That helps us spot it. Is it okay to let chickens free range when frost is on grass? Remind me to ask you a question. I need to ask you guys a question. I never thought about this. Of course, I'm going to forget it. Okay. Is it okay to let chickens free range when frost is on grass? They seem to burst out of the coop like jet planes to get out and get to work in the yard.
Yes. It is okay to let them out. Just let them do whatever they want to do now. I mean, that's a very natural thing.
Yeah, and if they don't want to be out, they won't go out.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, even if you let them out and there's like a foot of snow, they're not going to go out. Though that's when they really would love having the run. But this reminded me of a question. Lance asked me a question this morning. He's thinking about getting chickens.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That happens to every employee. Next thing you know, you're getting a chicken coop. I never thought about this. He said, Matt, if I go out to the coop in the morning and it's been cold here and you collect those eggs, so it's almost like they've already been refrigerated. And if he brings them into the kitchen and we talk about just put them, right on the counter at room temperature, they're fine. If they were already refrigerated and you make them room temperature, is that okay? Or should you put them in the refrigerator?
I've thought about that myself. But I haven't had any issue with leaving them on the counter.
No, and I think we associate refrigerated eggs with eggs that have been cleaned. Mm-hmm. So the bloom, even though it's been cold and it's been, they're not frozen, the eggs, hopefully, they're cold, the bloom is still on there. So the only time I ever refrigerated an egg that I've gotten is if for some reason it got dirty, that somebody pooped in there, and then...
You got to clean the bloom.
Then I have to, if I have to wash it off in any way and the bloom comes off, then I stick it in the fridge.
All right,
Amber. Or if they get wet, sometimes it's
Amber M. Okay. Here we go. Roosters get such a bad rap. I wish more people would give them a chance. If you put effort into them, they can make great pets and never had a problem with roosts. Okay, fair. Very fair.
Yeah, that is.
And I totally agree because I love roosters. They're beautiful. They have a job to do. I hated that I've had to get rid of some roosters just because, yes, they have some noise. But I guess I need to ask Jimmy, why in the world is he thinking about getting...
He lives in a subdivision, so I'm also a little bit concerned about...
His neighbors are going to hate him.
Yeah, and what that does to other chicken people, it kind of creates some issues in the chicken... I mean, it gives chickens a bad name sometimes because people don't like the noise when you're living in an area like a subdivision.
Jimmy here. So Jimmy's the one that has the greenhouse, but to continue the cycle of life. Okay, so you want to go.
He wants the babies. He wants fertilized eggs. But it's so easy to get chicks or fertilized eggs. I don't. For me, it's not worth it.
They're so traumatic to the hens.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't know how big his flock is.
Dude, okay. His flock is, I forget how many chickens he had.
I mean, he probably has like 10.
8 or 9, 10.
Something like that. We'll call it a dozen, right? They are fat and beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And he lets them free range, which I'm jealous. I don't know if we're going to let our chickens free range again. I can definitely see the difference in the eggs. When they free range, those are the best eggs, period. Patty says greenhouse, yes. So are we going to have a video coming out soon? What are you going to do with that video, Jimmy? We're talking about the greenhouse.
I can do something up next week if we want to promote it.
Yeah, like a teaser.
Yeah.
Do we have a manual for the greenhouse?
No.
Yeah, Suzanne Smith says non is right.
I know.
You must have instructions for these products. That's why my coop, partly why my coop isn't finished yet.
Yeah, and I tell the sales team all the time. Here's the problem, and I gave a huge shout out. Were you guys here when I did that with the manual that Evan just finished?
What did he finish?
No. I asked the question.
Oh, I haven't been here for 2 weeks.
I can't remember. Maybe it was last week when I was by myself. He updated the 6x American manual, and he has crushed it.
Which one, the Carolina or the American?
The American manual. Is that what I just
Oh.
said? It is incredible. He put in. Are you ready for this? Do we have this manual? Well, just take my word for it. He put in every staple.
Very nice.
Yeah, it is a gorgeous manual. Here is what has happened over the years. We will tell customers, yes, we can sell you this coop, and we want to sell you the coop. We want to make you guys happy. We want to get it to you because you don't want to wait for turnkey. You don't want to maybe spend the money on turnkey. You can, and it is possible to assemble these coops, but if we don't have an exact manual, it can be a little bit more challenging. And I think sometimes people are like, okay, well, I got that or this and that, but they don't understand it can be challenging putting these coops together.
We kind of get ahead of ourselves sometimes. Now, Ben also says make sure your greenhouses have auto-opening roof vents. That's just a tip for your design.
Okay, so they do.
Oh, good.
Have you not seen our greenhouse?
I did. I saw it, but it was like...
You don't remember the
2
vents?
years ago.
I actually thought about taking them off. But we have this self-adjusting spring-loaded hinge where when it gets really, really hot, it opens up the window because it releases a spring because there's like beeswax inside.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And... I don't know. It's kind of cumbersome, but it does work. See now, oh, dang it. I was going to get rid of it and make my life easier.
Are we just going to scroll through comments from 45 minutes ago?
Maybe.
Can I go eat my lunch?
Yes, you can go eat your lunch, Ingrid. I'm so sorry. I know it is 1:51. Let me get through this. Go eat, because we got a big meeting coming up.
I know.
If
I would
you
like
guys
to get
have,
home before it's dark. I have.
I will. I always told you I would pay for your Uber. I will take you home.
I want to drive home with my car that I came
I
here.
will
which
tow
is a
your
Prius,
car.
by
We'll
the
put it
way.
right in the back of the car hauler. I
nope.
will personally bring you home in your car, and you won't have to drive.
I have other responsibilities than you, Matt.
I will have someone. I will Lance come with you to help you with your other responsibilities. He is a doer.
No, I don't want other people. I want. Just. Oh my God.
Ethan, aren't you supposed to be working right now? Hashtag flat Earth. Boy, you talk about tinfoil hat wearing. Boy, you get into this flat Earth. Ingrid, do you feel the Earth is flat?
Oh my God. Now, do
Okay.
you want me to curse on air again?
No.
Do we have to get to that point?
It was only one time. I'm surprised.
No, but hold on. Once upon a
I'm
time,
surprised too.
Yeah,
but once
it's
upon
only
a time
been
when
once.
people said that the Earth was round, they thought they were crazy. Again, I don't know. I don't
Because when new information becomes available, you should be able to change your view that you might have thought.
Nikki Wagner, we haven't seen her in a while.
Hi, Nikki.
Where have you been?
And it's Wagner.
I know. How do I? Why does it say Wagner though?
Because
Wagner.
I don't know. How do you pronounce your name?
Dubois, according to my mother.
Okay, so
disgusting.
why do you say Du Bois?
Because there's an E on the end. My mother and my sister took the E off their last name. That's how much they hated the Du Bois name.
Okay,
How
so
ridiculous
it's
is that?
Wagner.
How do I safely combine 5 12-week-old chicks with 4 3-year-old meanies? Or should I wait? This is a great question, and I know you have a great answer.
Try it.
No. No. How do you safely do it? Are you saying there is no safe way?
Well, that's that's 3 months old, right? So they're.
I would
decent
try it
size.
and have an additional feeding station.
And water.
What have
feeding and watering station.
Oh, Kristen Warren. What have we learned to make it so it's just about almost bulletproof, successful, introducing young hens to an existing flock?
Ingrid just did it. She had no trouble.
Okay.
Yep. She just did it.
So
Right?
but what are some tips? What are some things?
Well, they were about the same size. They were the same size.
Make sure they're the same size. What else? This is the biggest, most important one.
Oh.
Space.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah, but a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
don't know this. See, this is what we forget.
That is key.
Thank you. All right, so Nikki, just do it.
Yeah, just try it. Make sure they have feeding. I mean, it helps that the youngins are slightly outnumbering the
It does.
the old ones.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
And they're just
And they will fight a little,
Yeah.
but it'll resolve itself in a couple days.
You have to get through it.
To a week.
I'm sorry. I'm just going through it. So if I'm going to read these comments before I can bring them in, you guys have to keep it up.
But all right, Kristen, do you have any more lemon cookies?
I do.
Do we have some for like
I
after
did
lunch?
see. She's scared. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm not leaving you guys
Those
unsupervised.
are pretty good, huh?
They're delicious. They are. They're the best cookies.
So, Fisher Matt Ryan, are there safe fertilizers / manure I can use on my grass in my backyard that is okay for my free range girls? That's a very good question.
I found something.
What?
A couple of years ago, I wanted to put some fertilizer on my grass, and I went to the store and I said, "Well, you have this organic," and they said, "Well, we have this fertilizer and it's organic." And I said, "Well, what's it made out of?" And they said, "Chicken poop."
Yeah, black hen.
And I was like, "How ironic is that? Is I've got so much chicken poop in my 6-year-old coop."
Yep.
But it's not pelletized or something.
Right.
It's hard to spread.
You
so
can
I have to
make
go to
a
the
tea
store.
out of it and
Yeah.
spray it.
Yeah,
No.
or it really was actually really small, so I probably could have spread it, but
You can buy bags of black cow or black hen, which is like a soil amendment. Or
yeah,
like
but you
dirt.
can't really put that in a spreader if you've got.
Oh, if you've
got a lawn.
I use real fertilizer, like fallen leaves. Leave the leaves.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
So yeah, I would use something that's organic and.
Sonos has been loyal. I think the Sonos has been there for just about every live that we did in Italy. And yeah, listen, we got to solve this problem. And I think I'm not asking the question correctly, or there's just no good answer. I hate when it comes to our Craftsman coops that we don't have a word or words explaining when you would hear this word, what to expect on the inside,
Right.
meaning you got a shed and a hen house combo. And I hate saying shed hen house combo. It just sounds awful. And
Well, it's not awful.
Yes, it is.
It's not horrible, but
No?
I understand you're trying to find something better.
So someone did say duplex, and I was like, that's what I mean. That's not bad. And then Evan said cooplex. But then they don't really know what a cooplex means.
You have to say, oh, well, a cooplex is a hen house.
Yeah,
shed
so we did
combo.
not pick a name yet, and I wish we would. And this is just one of these things. Everyone else is like, oh, God, this Matt again. I apologize. If you guys have any suggestions of some type of verbiage or word to explain, it's two things in one. And that's what makes our Craftsman Coops great. Matt, you just sold me a greenhouse with that spring thing.
We don't have an assembly manual for that.
See, I was covering you, Nan. I said that earlier before.
We just need a button of that.
Thank you, guys.
No, we need many.
Yes, and Non has to be the one to say it.
Yeah, so we do have the vents up top, and I just bought the regular springs that go on all greenhouses, and it's a simple device. It's just a matter of making sure it doesn't leak on the inside. So we overlap the poly, but we're going to completely change the poly. I love the way the poly looks on the greenhouse, but it expands and contracts way too much. So this is why we got to go with the corrugated. Before I
that's insulated too, isn't it?
It is, which also helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's actually a very good point. Yes. I would split the coop for a few weeks. I'm not sure what that
That's
means.
about her.
For the youngins.
For the young ones.
Yeah.
You can give them a separate area and let them see each other. But sometimes I've done both, and it was just, this last time was so easy.
Yes, and I will drive Ingrid home. I know, it sucks. You ought to see yes, I get it. It sucks driving at night. I got one of those headlights. I can't imagine what they're always flashing me. They're so bright.
I'm not going
It's
home
terrible
at
driving
night.
in
I'm
front of
leaving
you.
at like 3:00. So chop.
Okay, we're going to get there. Well, Bruce has a question. He said, don't call me Mr. Fahey anymore. I just love that name Fahey. So I got in the habit of saying Mr. Fahey, and he actually, don't call me Mr. So I apologize. Bruce has a question. Matt, are you ramping up for a gardening edition version on VCL this spring? See, some people see between see my madness. Absolutely, yes. I did a 40-minute video. I thought it was pretty good. Talking about getting ready for what we're going to do on the YouTube channel with the gardening. I uploaded it. Did either one of you watch it at all? No. Yeah.
No, I was busy trying to get stuff done.
Do we not have enough people in the marketing department? Is that what's going on? Do you guys have too much going on? Do I overwhelm you with too much stuff?
I'd rather have a lot of stuff than not enough.
Right. So here's what I realized.
I have so much stuff in case anybody needs some.
Here's what I can tell you guys for 2025. I'm very excited because sure enough, I went outside one day, just had my coffee, and I just did a selfie walk around showing the property and what I'm thinking about. And I just started just rambling stuff going, I don't know what to do here. Where do you place a garden? How do you clear these trees? Do you really clear it? Do you come in with a forester? Do you use this mulch? Should we mulch it? Should we get rid of it? Should we burn it? Spread the ashes? Should we use chip drop? Okay. How big of an area do we I have so many questions now, especially about the gardening, but also explaining to people, yes, I'm going to start the bullseye gardening. I cannot wait. And I notice it's very different than when I'm out here talking. It's just a different Matt. So get ready.
That's exciting.
Thank you.
I can't wait.
Mike Trapp, what is Kristen's cookie recipe? How many?
It was so good. It's a lemon cookie with this frosting on it.
All right, let me see.
It's amazing, Mike.
No, I will tell you if it's good or not. All right, it is 2:00. I promise the Italian job.
Okay. So I can cue the music?
No, not yet.
Come on. I got to keep you on track because you'll just go forever. Like if we all walked out and this thing was still filming, he'd be going.
A little lemony?
Let's get you in the boo-boo. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. No, it is very good. This is, yes, you're a hell of a baker.
Recipe. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that would be a fun part of the show. You should bring cookies every episode, every Friday, and then you get to share with everyone the recipes.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty damn good. But it isn't just a recipe though. There has to be an art to understanding how to do things right, or no?
Well, baking's not as difficult as cooking. Like Nan's a natural cook. Like she doesn't need a recipe.
But when you bake, baking.
But when you bake, you use a recipe, so there's not
it's more
much
accurate.
talent in it. It's
I'm not good at following instructions either.
Well, I think it's because of the proportions. Like if it's a tablespoon, it's a tablespoon. If it's a teaspoon, like you have to be, that's why you follow the recipe for most of that.
Okay, I'm gonna get through this. I promise. What are we doing for next week? Are we doing a show?
I don't know. Sure we are.
Yes, Karsten, there was. What are we doing with the final weigh-in video?
I got it. I'll get it posted. Yeah.
We did a final weigh-in, and Karsten says, I'm guessing Evan lost the most, other than Ethan losing money. And oh my gosh. I don't know if I'll get Ethan. Oh my gosh. Thank God I've learned years ago not to let customers on my personal Facebook. Did you guys watch those stories from Italy on my personal?
I did. They were entertaining.
How disturbing was it? It's okay. You can speak freely.
I mean, there was a little. I mean, there was.
Would you have felt uncomfortable if you were there?
I wouldn't be with you. I think I would felt more safe being on my own than with the three of you guys.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what is wrong with us. Yeah, we do need to do another VLC. I think he meant VCL, Epic Gardening Crust. Love Kevin out at Epic Gardening. He's just a genius at what he does on many aspects, and he has been a man of his word. Anytime I had any questions, he's always there. Just a huge shout out to Kevin or Epic Gardening and Epic Homesteading. His channel got so big he had to start a second one. I mean, come on.
Are you serious?
Yo, that's bad. Yeah, that's badass.
We were on Epic Homesteading, but I mean, it kind of crosses over.
Now, Joel has an interesting question. What raised garden beds are we buying? Do we do underground irrigation first?
I don't do underground irrigation for raised beds.
And I'm about to start a garden too. I'm going to use my whole side yard as a garden, but I don't have the capital to invest in garden beds right now. So I'm just going to elevate the soil and like do semi-raised garden beds, but without the container. Kind of, yeah.
What is it called?
Google culture?
Yeah.
Google culture?
Google culture.
Google?
Yeah, it's when you mound like branches and stuff, and it's...
Oh my gosh. See, I'm so confused. I thought no-till gardening was the way to go. You want all the roots to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. This is the same type of thing. You're not tilling anything. You're not digging anything. You're just building soil.
Yeah, you're building up, but I'm just not going to have the metal or the wooden beds.
I like my beds. I use Bego or Bejo garden beds, which are very much like birdie beds, which Kevin sells. I like those. They last a long time. They are an investment.
Mm-hmm.
But I love them. You can also do your own. You can take aluminum panels and things like that. But please post us. If I can get the recipe from her, I'll post it in the show notes.
All right. So what are we doing next week?
I don't know. What would you like to talk about? Do you have something to get off your chest?
I have so much. Listen, there is so much going on with heated water systems, and we need to do better. And I need a one-stop shop, maybe a one video covering everything so people can just go right to our website. We need to start putting QR codes on all of our water systems so people can scan it and go right to troubleshooting videos.
I thought there was. There was QR codes in the instructions that I made.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, I'm right. I know, because I made them.
You're so smart. So I want to put it, we got that printer where we can print the QR code right on the water bar. I wanted to show you guys something. You see those nipples?
Yeah.
Can you play with those nipples real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, here we go. For the podcast. More nipple talk.
Yeah.
There's our disclaimer.
This is one of the ones that got sent back to us.
Wait, that's not yours.
No, yeah, hell right, it's not ours. What a difference, eh?
Yeah.
So someone bought our nipples on Amazon,
knockoff.
returned Chinese knockoffs. And I just cannot tell you guys. I wish I could figure out how to explain to you guys. It's just absolute garbage. And the spring is not as springy. It's way too hard. The O-ring, you can see the quality of the O-ring is a lot smaller. It's harder. It's brittle. The threads, just everything sucks about these. But a lot of people, when you first see them, probably would never see the difference. Huge difference. Huge difference.
All right. Well, I have the recipe. I'll post it on Friends of Hens on Facebook, and we'll also put it on the show notes.
Okay, so you're going to put the recipe in the show notes. And so...
Yep, I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
What hold on. What's to troubleshoot? I just got a heater from you guys, and it's literally plug and drop it in. Well, thank you, Scott. There is. I appreciate it. Things can happen. And like today, we had problems, and I went out there. We got a video of it, and it was my laziness for not cleaning out the rain barrel, and you could tell that it just wasn't going to work. I think Ingrid's saying it's time to go. We will see you guys next week.
Music playing.
I don't know. You started it.
I did. All right.
Later.